How's
Hey,
everybody doing tonight? We are
doing
live.
good.
We are live. We are live. Yeah, I forgot I had to add you before I could hear you.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta add. I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Weather's
That's what's
good,
up,
nice
man.
and cool, 60 degrees in the shop. That's good weather
Awesome.
right there. Free air
Awesome.
conditioning.
Yep,
Yep, I'm
without a
ready to
doubt.
talk some crappie.
Yes, sir.
Yep,
I tell you what, man, it just don't get no better than this time of year. I just wish that it could get stable
right,
and hold there. But it is just Texas. That's just it's been this way for as long as I can remember.
right.
Super Dave, what's happening, my man? Got
Super
Murdoch in, got
Dave.
got Squiddo in.
Squiddo, what's happening?
Thank
Murdoch.
you guys for joining us.
Yep, turn my comments on. There we
Who else
go.
we got here? I'm good. I'm good. Murdoch, how about yourself, brother? Uh oh. Awesome. Got a. Oh, have I got a deer yet? No,
Oh,
I hadn't. I thought you were saying you got a deer, but no, I hadn't. I hadn't got one yet. I've seen plenty, but I just hadn't seen. I got this one crazy looking deer. Got a double main beam on one side. Man, I'm gonna try to hold off this year for him. Uh, I still got plenty of time, so uh, I bow shot a pig, but it was a quick shot, and I hit him bad, trailed him for 200-300 yards back in that thick stuff, and it was getting dark. I was like, you know what?
man.
I did find half my arrow though.
Hmm,
Yep, it broke off while it was running off, but that was it.
man.
Yeah, I'll be back at hopefully be back in the stand Sunday, I believe. Yeah, I got to get me some time to get in there.
Yeah,
Catching has been posting some really good ones. Yep, without a doubt. That bank bite in DF, well, any of the areas except for the Houston area. Every now and then we get on a good bank bite here, but it's not often, man.
right.
But up there are so many docks and so many places that you can fish off and got good depth.
Right.
And it's just all about moving around. There's
Yep.
so many places. I had a ball when
Right.
I worked up there without a boat, and could fish a different spot every day.
Right.
Yes, sir. So we got a special guest this week, and this guy has accomplished what a lot of people has failed to do,
Yep.
and he did it on the right tournament too. I
Yep.
mean,
Yep.
got him smack brand new Ranger
Yep.
hook setter TV.
Hook set. How's it going, man?
There's
Yes.
Devon.
Yeah, it's pretty cool when I saw him. That was cool. It's a
Yeah,
national. He's a national champion. You know.
yeah. Travis, I see you down there. I get you added in here in a few seconds, buddy. Jeep Fish. That's a new name. Murdoch says it's November. Ain't no such thing as stable weather in the South. Yep, one front after another. That's right. All right, y'all. Let's get the man added in, and y'all gonna get some good info tonight. What's going on, my man?
Not much. Y'all doing all right?
Hey, doing
Doing
good, man.
great.
How you been, man?
Good.
Good. Good. Good.
I'll
Cool.
stick y'all up top, and I'll be at the bottom.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man. That
Yeah.
was an awesome finish that you had up there, and it was on the perfect tournament too.
Yep.
It was. Yeah.
Brand spank new Ranger, dude. That's
Yeah.
awesome right there.
It was. Yeah. And it was kind of a shocker. I just didn't expect to go up there and do much, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you're completely changing your game going to
right,
Kentucky.
Yep.
right.
So, but it worked out.
Yep. That's
Yes,
cool.
sir. So,
You beat
Steve, I know you
Hayden.
got some. Yeah, hey, that's
Yeah.
I mean, it's a challenge to get after that guy, and
Yeah.
it's an accomplishment, you
Yep.
know. Uh,
Yep.
he is a strong fisherman. You
Yep.
know, he got good game,
Yep.
and but the dude is Travis. I've seen what he's been doing.
Yep.
I hear what he said
Yep.
before, and I know he
Yep.
got good game too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Never give up. That's what I always tell people.
never give up.
Yep.
That's
Never
right.
give up. Because you're
Yep.
talking about ounces.
Right.
Yeah. What was the last one? It was like .1, right? That one tournament.
Oh yeah, I lost that
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
Crappie Masters by .01.
Yeah. Yeah.
That always stings a little bit,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just had dinner, with Jerry and Kale, and we were 1, 2, 3 on the state championship,
Right.
and Jerry got me by .09, and I think Kale was like .18 or something like that.
Right.
I mean, you're all talking one fish,
Right.
and that,
Right.
that separated all three of us.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and I mean, it's one fish, but it really wasn't even a big fish. It was
Right.
just a good fish, that
Yeah.
separated all of
One
us.
kicker and you're there.
Just
Yep.
yeah, I mean,
Yep.
it. If any of us, if Jerry would have caught a 185 fish on day one, he'd have won it because
Yep.
he had 3 160s. If I'd have caught a
Right.
212 with my small fish on, I mean, I'd have won it.
Yep. Yep.
And Kale did win it, but I'm saying it just, Kale caught a kicker fish both days, but he didn't have 6 great fish.
Right.
But it worked out. So
Yep.
it just, man, they always, it seems like they, everybody's getting better, and it seems they always just boil down to your top 1, 2, or 3 to
Yep.
Hmm.
down to one
Yep.
fish. I mean,
Yep. Exactly.
when I won the boat up at Cumberland, I think the guys behind me were .06.
Right.
I mean, that's nothing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And one guy I heard he's fished that lake his whole life. You know what I mean? The man,
oh
I
yeah.
think. Yeah. No, what was his last name? Man, right? Him and his dad.
Yeah, Terry and
Yeah.
Chris, man,
Yep.
great people.
Yep. Yeah, I saw
Um,
him on stage, and I was like, man, you feel for him a little bit,
yeah.
as
Yeah.
competitors,
But I
Yeah.
met a couple of guys. I believe it's Ben or Barry Turpin. They won. He won the Ranger boat up there in 2018. Was still fishing out of his boat. Is a 19 model boat. And they won the spring tournament up there this year.
Mhm.
A couple retired guys. He when I met him, he's like, man, we fish every day. And
Right.
he said, well, maybe not every day, but pretty much every day.
Right.
And they knew that lake, I mean, inside and out. And they were, I met some of the best people up there, I felt like,
That's cool. Yep. Yep.
Well, like we always say, man, sometimes the local guy that fish a lake several days, a week, he could hurt it, get hurt by not
Yeah.
opening his eyes to other areas.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's, I
So
mean, there are very few lakes. I mean, sometimes local knowledge is always good. I felt like the local knowledge at Cumberland was going to be crucial just because of how the lake was going to fish.
Right.
mhm.
But the local guys did well. I lucked out and caught a couple of the right
Right.
fish.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Them
Yeah, I heard you
kickers make a
say
big
you was on
difference, man.
one dock for 6 hours, I think it was.
Yeah,
Man.
I actually spent 6 hours on it.
Oh,
Left it for an
Wow.
hour and a half. Made a 10-mile run back to that dock and fished the last 30 minutes on that
man.
dock. So I really spent 6.5 hours on it.
Dang.
That's awesome. That means
How
you
many
seen the right
yeah.
fish on it.
How
I
many fish
did.
did you actually see? You see a lot of fish on there and you weeding them through, or
Man, honestly, it's really hard to tell, but I would say there was between 1,000 and 5,000 fish on it.
man.
I really don't know. I mean, I
Wow.
wish I could share the video of my live scope video that I took on it during
Oh
pre-fishing.
wow. Man.
And it is hang on, I don't think I can. I don't think you can see it.
Yeah, he can blow you up and then
I can try it. It
yeah.
was some of the most fish I had ever seen under a dock.
Man.
Maybe. Hold on, let me see if we can find this.
Oh,
Hold on, I'm trying to get the right angle on it.
yeah.
It's just not coming in clear.
No, yeah, the light.
Yeah.
Maybe back it up a little. Yeah, it's the glare, I think. I saw it for a second. If you
Yeah,
twist
I did too. That's
Yeah.
hold on. right
There you
there.
go.
Oh yeah,
Hold
yeah,
on,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. A
got to
little
hit
bit.
play
Yeah.
on it again. That's
It
the
looks like
problem.
live scope.
Yeah.
Moving the
Oh,
transducer. That's pretty crazy.
Man,
oh,
I
Yeah, I
could
saw it
see
for
the
a
amount of
second.
fish
Yeah.
up under his
I
Yep.
eye.
wish I could.
Man.
I wish I could show that, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was. I've never seen that many fish. And the
Man.
thing, what it was, some of the docks, I had like 7, 8 docks I was running. Some of the docks, they had, maybe just a 50 fish on them.
Right.
Um, you know, but this particular dock was just loaded.
Man. Do
But
you
but
do
I, and I
you
caught fish on all of them. It wasn't,
do you know
but
why that one
but
stood
the
out? Was it?
I really don't.
Yeah.
But the reason I spent so much time on it, day two, the wind was blowing real hard, and
Oh,
most
okay.
of my other docks they weren't protected.
Right.
So on day
Mm.
two, that's why I spent so much time on that dock. Um, is because it was protected. My
Right.
other docks, I went and ran them, but I mean, I was just getting beat up, and I mean, thrown into the docks and every direction. It was just hard to get on them fish, and then plus
Right.
them fish had really sunk down to the bottom on day two, and I was just having trouble getting on them.
Right.
Hmm.
Man.
You
Yeah, it's
know,
amazing.
I don't dock fish much, but uh, there's a couple of docks that I'll mess around with, and the wind got to be blowing for one of them. The wind got to be blowing the right direction.
Yes.
And what I do is use a 30. It's a 30-second, but it's really small. It's probably a 64th, and I got to let that thing let the current suck that jig up under there, and just feed slack, and then just slowly work that jig into the current. And do you ever try anything like that?
So I don't fish docks really much at all. Only maybe in like May and June some.
Okay.
And so I'm not a big dock person neither, because
Yeah.
typically, I mean, like in our lakes, you find docks here. Most of them are fish where they got black crappie on them.
Huh.
Me, I ain't want to mess with no black crappie,
Right.
but when you went up there to Cumberland, you pretty much realized you were going to be fishing for black crappie.
Uh-huh.
So therefore, it's kind of like, okay, what do black crappie like? And they like laydowns and structures, and in my opinion, they like docks.
Hmm.
So we rolled by a dock and I saw crappie under there, and um, the bite pre-fishing was very, very tough. You couldn't hardly get them to bite. Now I don't necessarily know if that's just because I wasn't putting the right bait on them, um, wasn't using the right tactic. I finally just kind of honed in on what I could do to catch them.
Hmm.
Um, and I went up there with 4 pound test line. I ended up dropping to 2, and
Wow.
and I found a little bitty 64th ounce jig head with a little gold wire hook on it. And the only way I could get a fish to bite was worming a minnow on that hook, and lipping the minnow on his bottom lip on the little bait keeper on the hook. You put a split shot above him, they wouldn't hit it.
Man.
If that minnow fell down off the bait keeper and he just was kind of on the actual hook, they weren't going to touch it.
Man.
Wow.
And I mean, not one fish. The bite was so finicky, um, that I think everything just had to be perfect.
Right.
Hmm.
And then still, I might pitch up there 20 times and not catch a fish. But I mean, I
Right.
got in the back of my mind, I'm fishing for 7 fish,
Right. Right.
you know. So, but I know, I mean, I probably caught 30 to 40 to 50 fish both days. It ain't like I caught 100, and it's not like I caught 10.
Right.
Yeah.
But, but on day 2, I said all along, I felt like if you could get the right fish to bite, it could be one on docks,
Right.
because I saw them. Now I caught a 178, I think it was, on a dock pre-fishing, which I knew was a good tournament fish. And I didn't catch fish that big. The biggest fish I caught in the tournament was a 160.
Right.
But on day 2, I flipped under a dock. Well, I really wasn't flipping under them because they're floating docks, so you're just pitching up to them.
Mm.
And the water, I mean, it's the clearest water I've ever seen. but them fish were up under them walkways on these docks, and these docks are like private boat docks for like I'm assuming like neighborhoods or something.
Yeah,
You
I've
know, they'd
seen
have
them
like
before.
4 to 8 or 10, 12 stalls,
Right.
and not covered or nothing, just the walkways. And that water was so clear. I mean, them fish would come. You would drop on fish, and you would see a fish come from 10 or 12 feet away on your live scope screen, look
Wow.
like a missile coming through the other
Man.
ones, and that would be the fish that was going to bite.
Man.
You know, and you just kind of just as it was falling, and you get that reaction, you just start reeling.
Right.
And when you start reeling, he was chasing it.
Man.
And still, I didn't catch every one of those fish. There were still ones that would go up to it like you knew they were about to bite, and they would go up to it and turn and swim right back to the school.
Yeah.
So
I can't stand that.
no, I mean it would eat you up. So
Yeah.
I see the question from Murdoch. You
Yeah.
you couldn't shoot these docks because they're floating,
Right.
and they had cables and stuff. Like you could shoot the cracks maybe, but they had cables because that lake, I guess, you know, I don't want to say it's a flood control lake. I'm not sure. It might be a flood control lake, but I know the water level. I want to say they said the water level can vary like 40 or 50 foot in a year on that lake.
Wow.
They can bring it down like 2 foot in a day.
Oh wow.
Um, and all the boat docks are all suspended, so they actually, and they all have them on cables. So you can't really shoot a crack most
Mhm.
on those docks because there's cables running.
Right.
You got to shoot over a cable. So I would just pitch up to the cable. There was a lot of times I even got my jig over the cable in between the dock, and I would just kind of have to finesse it, just get it to shake it, just to get
Right.
that right little pop and get it to fall right on the edge of that cable, which would be about as close as you could get it to the walkway.
Right.
You know, but those fish, I mean, that water was so clear, you didn't need to be right on those fish like you would a lot of our lakes.
Right.
I mean, I'm telling you, there was fish that hit that bait that were 10 feet or more away from it.
Man.
You know, so, but it was definitely a good experience.
Yeah.
You know, getting a little
Oh,
small
here's
rod
a good,
in hand.
Yeah.
here's a good question. Did you fish it by yourself?
I did. I was all by myself.
Awesome.
Man.
Awesome.
It was on Lake Cumberland in Kentucky.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you know, like it was weird. You know, you got a long rod and trying to net. I didn't even take my long net. I just took my short net. Doesn't weigh nothing, man. I'd get those fish up and just, you know, I'm not used to ever netting. Like anytime I'm usually flip by myself, I'm just boat flipping fish. But with 2-pound
Flip.
test line and I netted
Yeah, it don't
every
work.
single fish.
Yeah.
I netted. It didn't matter if he was a .80. I netted him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2-pound line, man. You push it, trying to even swinging that small fish.
Oh, yeah.
That's pushing
Yeah.
it.
Yep. And we found some line up there that it actually really surprised me how strong for a 2-pound test line it was.
Right.
I know Hayden went back to his home lake, won a tournament, casting on his home lake, catching 2-pound plus fish on 2-pound test line, wrapped around trees, chasing them around trees, and got them in the boat on this line.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what
So-
matters too is I didn't know, but a lot of guys in Alabama, they'll use these bronze, real ultralight hooks, and them hooks actually flex, and it helps with that line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just know. I just know. For us, like that, it just seemed like what we're used to using here, a steel J hook, pretty thick. Those fish up there wouldn't touch.
Right. Right.
I think it was just everything had to be so subtle with them.
Right.
They were nothing overbearing. You know, like here, our fish here, you take a 1/4 ounce jig, throw it in their face, big a hook as you want. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Up there, though,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying all year, but I'm just telling you from my experience in the time I was there, it mattered.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of that hook, I mean, it could affect the fall rate. Just that added weight of that bigger hook
Yeah. Or the
or
color,
thicker
you
hook
know.
Yeah,
Yep.
or the color. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
because I mean,
yep.
the one we were using, it was obviously that whole jig head and everything was probably only about 3/4 of an inch.
Right.
It was very small, and to
Wow.
me that was it's very small,
Right.
and I
Uh-huh.
think that had a big hand in
Yeah.
getting those fish to bite.
Yeah. And black crappie like smaller on
Yep.
average, they like smaller stuff.
And I caught all of my fish on minnows as well. Uh, I couldn't get them to bite a jig, and it was we went through the hardest time up there finding minnows. We brought minnows with us to the tournament as well, um, but they wanted if I could get a really small minnow. I'm talking like an inch and a half to inch and 3/4. I could almost catch one with that every time, but I didn't have 200 minnows of that size
Right.
either.
Right.
And that was the problem. You were trying, if it was a bigger minnow than that, it was hit and miss. But the smaller the minnow, the better.
Right.
Hmm.
But I'm sure that those fish go through stages, same as any other lakes, where they just like different baits, they like different sizes, they like, at Lake Fork right now, I haven't used a 1/4 ounce jig probably all year. We
Right.
went on Sunday and smoked 50 with a 1/4 ounce jig.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, I
Yeah.
haven't used a quarter all year.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Murdoch, I think that super clear water from my knowledge on it. I mean, obviously you got to stay off of those fish. You cannot get on top of those
Right.
fish. That's going to immediately shut them off.
Yeah.
And for me, like I'm used to my trolling motor being on 10 and rolling, and I put my trolling motor on 3,
Right.
and I tried to do everything I could to just be as subtle as I could with everything I did. I didn't
Right.
just try to barely pitch it up there. I tried not to make no just loud movements.
Right.
To try to, I was trying to do everything I could to not affect shutting those fish
Right.
off.
Yeah.
So the line, I don't
Knew
know
that
what it
question was
is.
coming.
Yeah, I don't mind sharing it. It's. I
Yeah.
mean, it ain't no secret or nothing. But it was made by Daiwa. Hold on, I think I have a picture of it. It was made by Daiwa.
Lake Fork, Devon.
Um, and it's a Daiwa line fluorocarbon made in Japan. Let's see if you can kind of see this. All right, you can kind of see this one.
Yeah. What's the name of it?
It's made by Daiwa,
Oh, okay.
but I don't know if you. I mean,
Fluoro.
that's exactly
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
we were
2
trying to
pound.
get.
Yep.
I can see that here,
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
There it goes. Yep.
right there.
Oh, it's a leader.
Fluoro leader. Yep. Leader
Yeah.
It's
line.
fluoro
Yep.
leader, but I'm telling you, I have 100% faith in.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you right now, when I go to shoot docks and stuff this year, or this, that, and the other, we just jack around, or if I'm on any black crappie lake, I'm automatically just going to have
Right.
that on.
Yep. Yep.
I'm not even going to jack with 4. I'm not going to jack with 6. I'm just going to buy that.
Yep. Yep. How many times did it break on you? Did it?
Never broke it once.
Oh wow, that's cool.
The only time I broke it off is when I hung in some cables.
Right. Right.
But
right.
I never broke off one fish.
Man. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. In Alabama, they use 4 pound a lot, and they don't break. They cast them. They don't break off at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
That line, and what really gave me a lot of faith in it was when I hung one of those cables and I had to break it. I was really shocked at how much force it actually took to break the line.
Right. Right.
That's when
Wow.
it was like, well, it's stronger than I think.
It's a good quality. Yep. It's probably like so many plies. You know what I mean? Like 8 ply. Some of them are like 8 ply.
Yeah, I really don't
Yeah.
know, but I know one thing: it's impressed me. It's impressed other people.
Yeah.
And
I know the Japanese, they make good stuff too. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Yep. Their
Yeah, I know
quality
a guy
control
that's
is
on.
like second to none.
Yeah, I know a guy that's
yeah,
on YouTube, and he does a lot of reviews on the stuff from over there. He buys $600 and $700 reels from over there all the time.
Yeah.
Rods that's several $100s,
yeah,
and he used mostly 2 pound line. I always
Yeah.
wondered how he got away with catching. He mostly bluegill, panfish, bluegill, and red ear stuff like that. But he set the hook pretty good on those fish, and I
I,
always
I'm,
wondered
Yeah.
about that 2 pound line.
I'm telling you, I didn't get stupid about setting the hook,
Uh huh.
but I was very confident that what I was doing was enough,
Right.
and I never broke off one
Man.
fish.
Man.
So
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, in my
Yeah.
opinion, and like I mean, I see Chuck's comment right here, Cumberland
Uh
Fisher
huh.
line shot. I
Yep.
tried 4. I went up there with 4 pound,
Right.
but then I just knew I wasn't. I knew something just wasn't right yet.
Right.
Uh huh.
So that was something I changed, and then of
Yeah.
course I went to the 2, and some other things, and I feel like that definitely. I mean, would I have won with 4? I'm gonna say probably not.
Right.
Yeah.
Would I have
Yeah.
still caught some fish? Yeah. Would I have caught as many? Probably
Right.
not.
Yeah. Because you figure that one fish,
One
that
fish.
basically is the tournament.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And
Yep.
that's how I look at it from all the way around. I mean, it's when you're fishing, regardless of where it's at in the country, you're always fishing for that one extra fish.
Yep.
And if you didn't get that one bite or you got that one bite, that's the difference in winning and losing.
Yep.
Is
Right.
one
Yep.
bite.
And you're talking, people don't realize, what was the value? 58,000.
That's what they got the value at.
And then what was second place get?
5,000.
See, look at that. Just that
Still
one
good
fish.
though.
Look how much difference
Yeah.
it is. Just
Yeah.
think about it. And it's pretty amazing. You're
Yeah.
talking more than 10 times the amount.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Slab Buster, that's
He says you
like,
have a great
Yeah.
home lake.
dude, Lake Fork
I need
is just phenomenal. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I need to go wrap a
know.
chain around that thing and drag it a little closer to Houston.
Man, it's just loaded with crappie, and it's loaded with just quality fish
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. I knew this question was coming too.
So
How do you keep a man on the bait keeper?
So there's a couple ways that I like to do it, and it depends on what kind of jig you're using. This particular tournament, the jig that I actually used, hang on, I don't know if you can see it. I think I have a picture of it on here.
Does it have a wire keeper or just the bar?
It just a lead.
bar? Okay.
Lead,
Yep.
Okay.
So hold on. Here is actually a picture if it'll show.
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
Right
okay.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's only about 3/4 of an inch long.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it might be kind of big, but it's not.
Yeah.
What I do is I'd run the hook in the minnows mouth and I run it out his back. And then I take his bottom lip and I run it over that little
Bar.
Yeah.
that little barb right there. And honestly, you cast him 3 or 4 times. And when I say cast him, I mean I'm just pitching him, and I had to be subtle about it. You couldn't rear back and throw it,
Right.
or of course he's going to come off. It is but normally when I'm fishing here and I'm running a minute, I'm using a wire keeper.
Right.
And I'm pulling that. I'm doing the same thing. I put that hook in the fish's mouth. I take it out his back, and I pull his bottom lip up over the wire keeper, and I took the wire keeper
Yeah.
in his
Keep
lip.
it on. Yeah.
Lip. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that way, when he swims, he's looking. I mean, when you presented that bait to that fish, the minnows upright, because your wire keeper is always on the back side of
Right.
of where the eye is, where the line's tied to.
Mhm.
So you're presenting that minnow in an upright position, and you're getting that hook back a little bit instead of just right out in the mouth. And I feel like I've had a little more success on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
hate
any
when
of
they
these
suck it
questions
off
that you
there.
don't want to answer, don't feel bad about saying, "Hey, no, that's proprietary."
No, I
Because
mean, there's some things I'm not going to share, but for the
some
most
some
part, I'll
some
share most of
people,
it.
some people may not understand that being that articulate can be an advantage.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
a
And
lot of
that's
people will
what
hear you saying that and may say, "Oh, it don't matter," but there are some people
it
out there that
matters.
like
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you now, there are times where the least little thing uh, matters on whether sometimes it matters on you getting bit.
Yep.
Yep.
You know,
And that was my biggest thing up
getting
there
a reaction.
on Cumberland. And that's one of the things that I could tell you. If that bait came off of that bait keeper and fell down to the hook, you were getting 0 bites.
Right.
0. I didn't catch one single fish that I knew that it had fallen off.
Right.
If it fell off and like his lip had torn or had come off of there, I just threw it off and got another minute.
Right. That's
Murdoch
amazing.
say he runs a lot of that Japanese stuff.
Yeah, and honestly, this is my first
When you got to
experience.
go small, it's the way to go.
I've never used any line smaller than 6.
Right.
But I will say, man, after working with that line all week and then getting back home and then getting some 15-pound fluoro in my hand, with some little it was like rope. 15 pounds like rope.
Yeah. Was it a clear, high vis, or?
No, it was a clear
Okay,
fluorocarbon.
clear fluorocarbon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
They say
have
that
you
stuff's
guys
invisible in the water. I don't. That's what they say.
have you guys noticed that the clear in the same poundage is a lot stronger than any of the colored line?
Yeah, so I used to run colored line, but I just don't anymore. Everything I run is clear.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I've seen it over the years that the clear, I'm talking about in the same brand, same poundage, it's just a lot stronger.
It's probably the chemicals that's involved, and
That's what
I
I
wish
was
they'd make
thinking
a
too.
clear braid. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Like a lot of people use the high vis braid. Green's good enough for me. It doesn't matter to me the color of the braid. 'Cause I get the line in my hand most of the time. I'm not a really line watcher.
Line watcher,
Not with
yeah.
brain, yeah. Especially when I'm vertically fishing, I'm looking at the scope and I'm feeling it. I'm not, watching my line
So
too much.
I'd say pre-live scope, like shooting docks and stuff, I was nothing but a high vis. Like I wanted to watch.
Yeah.
I wanted to
Exactly.
You flip that and then you give it a little pop and it sinks. Now you're watching that line. You're watching for that little flip. But especially now with live scope, like every single one of these fish I caught, I caught them. I saw them chasing the bait.
Right.
I knew what was going on.
Yeah.
I didn't catch any of these fish blind.
Right.
Huh. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I sometimes do this myself. Do you sharpen your hooks often?
If they get dull enough, I'm gonna buy another one.
Okay, so you just change it out.
I'm just changing it out.
Yeah.
I've talked about it, but I never done. I know people that do though.
Yeah.
And another thing I noticed, these light wire hooks that I have, them things are like twice as sharp as a regular hook.
Oh, really?
I think it's so thin. Yeah, they're a lot sharper.
Huh.
The point is.
Yeah.
But don't try to use them vertically fishing; they'll bend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is amazing. It is amazing how much more pressure with like a 13 or a 15 foot rod or 17 that you put on that hook and on that jig jerking than you do with like a 6 or 7 foot rod.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't really realize that until I started doing that.
Somebody wants to go on a guide trip with you.
They can get a hold of me. I got on the weekends.
Yep.
Throw your number out there.
It's 903-474-5739.
You have a website?
Super Dave will.
No, they can just check out my Facebook page, Travis Decker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Travis Decker.
See if Super
Dave. I keep wanting to get something going, and I may this year. I just haven't done it yet.
I've been saying so too, but I just hadn't had the time.
Yeah, I post on Facebook some, and I'm not even a huge social media guy or nothing, but sometimes I want to get better. Sometimes I don't have enough time to do it, and but I do some trips on the weekends and when I can.
Yep.
That's what's up. So how deep were the docks on that lake?
I mean, it ranged because it's a really, really deep lake. So, even where the dock started, like up at the land, it might just be 4 or 5, 6 feet deep. But by the time you got to the end of the dock, you might be in 55 or 60 foot or more.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah, but I'd say I caught
Was it
most of my fish.
rock bank?
Yes, yeah, the bank.
Okay,
You could, there was places you could literally be 10 feet off the bank and be in 60 foot of water.
Man.
that's
Just
crazy.
straight off.
Right.
Um, but yeah, that most of my fish though, the fish I caught, I'd say ranged to between 15 to 18 to probably 26, 27. So hey, it wasn't a fast paced ordeal trying to
Right.
Right,
get a
waiting on that
60-foot.
jig to fall
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
that's
would pitch it
crazy.
up there. It was painfully slow, like
Right.
Yeah,
compared to what I'm used to. But I do believe that slow bite and that slow fall is what triggered those fish to bite too.
Right.
I
yeah,
think
they
if I
were
would have put,
probably watching it from the top of the water.
Yeah.
I guarantee you they were.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Once I figured out how good them fish could see in that lake, I'm telling you, there's no doubt in my mind they could see when that bait hit the water,
Yeah. Yeah.
even though they were
yeah,
15, 20 feet deep.
Yeah.
right.
What I used to do is once I notice a fish, say he'll strike 6 feet away, I'll put that bait 5 feet away, and your chances of catching him is better. The
Yeah,
closer it was, the skittisher you was.
correct.
You know what I mean? I
Yep.
noticed that at a few lakes, and that's
And
another thing
Oh,
that's in my book.
and
Yep.
that's why I think I caught. That's why I think I caught a lot of fish. Just like I was saying earlier, there were fish that my bait was falling down right in front of that wouldn't even move.
Yep.
But then you
Exactly.
get one that came from 10 feet on the other end of the live scope and looked like a missile coming through everybody
yeah,
to my bait.
Yep.
yeah,
Lake Hamilton was the same way. If he was three
yeah,
foot away, they wouldn't touch it. If he was
Yep.
6 foot, they would slam it.
Yep.
yeah,
I think the fish can see it, and then they know that there's something not right with it. Well, when it's far away, they can't really. They just see something, and they
yeah.
attack it better.
What clicks in my mind? I've never fished a lake that's clear like that, but what's clicking in my mind is that it just may be that it's so unnatural for
Right.
a bait to get that close to them because the
Yeah.
water's so clear.
Yep.
That could very well be the
Yeah.
deal.
They're real skittish,
Eh,
So
mm,
this is another question that I had on you finding that doc, and this is another question that Mickey D's has. What drew you to that particular doc? So did you live scope or not live scope, but did you use your side imaging to search out these fish before you
No,
fished that?
what ended up happening was I was side imaging and then I checked some
Uh-huh.
stuff and I was by a dock and I just happened to run my live scope and I just peeked under it. Well, I looked under it and I'm like, well, that looked like crappie to me.
Yeah,
And boom, pitch under there and you caught a crappie. You're like, all right, well, and I caught a good crappie. I'm like, all right, well, here's this dock. So boom, I pulled up my Google map and said, okay, there's a dock, there's a dock, there's a dock, there's a dock, there's a dock. These all set up kind of the same. Then I seen other docks that set up differently. I checked them too, and they're all of the docks that set up the same all had fish on them. Every single one of them. But
wow.
the docks that set up differently, which I'm not going to go into all that, but they set up differently, they did not have fish on them.
right. Right.
Now,
Yeah,
I do
yeah,
believe that was a timing, just the time of the year,
Right.
right.
you know. But I mean, it just, I just checked docks and,
Right.
I mean, there's only so many docks on the lake.
Yeah.
And, and some had them and some didn't. And so I
Yeah.
put
So
my
that
focus
that
into the ones that did.
yeah. What you were saying about how deep it is right off the bank, that explains why all of the docks are floating docks.
Right.
Correct. Yeah, that
Yeah.
too. And plus the lake, like I said, can fluctuate 40, 50 foot.
Right.
Right. So
Yeah, I've
what
never
what what
seen
poles?
what
No,
now?
go ahead. Go ahead.
I've never seen the docks like that had the cables, like they would go across a cove and tie, I guess, to the other bank over there.
Right.
It was weird because
Wow.
that's how they keep them all stabilized.
Right. Right.
Uh-huh.
I think
That's
because the
crazy.
deep water too. It's so deep, they
Yeah,
gotta stabilize them different.
yeah. They didn't. I mean, they didn't have poles going down like on our docks. We would
Right.
usually fish in Texas. They have poles. There was no poles. You look under a dock, you didn't see any pole. It was just like you couldn't see anything.
Just a
Now, if they
cable.
had some
Yeah.
structure hanging or something, then you could see
Yeah.
that.
Huh. What
And I
rods
think that
were you?
I was using a 7 foot bonehead.
Okay. Cool.
That's what I was using.
Cool. Clear line always best way to go. Fishing 14 says. Straighten out a hook third time. I'll retie one on. So Slick asked, are you still running a sail on that braid, Steve?
Yeah, I am. I
But
got
you
racing
answered that. You
outside
said
my
7 foot,
shop.
right?
Yes.
7 foot.
Yeah, they making a 5.8. I had the 5.8 and the 7, but I just, was trying to uh I felt a little more confident in the 7.
Yeah.
It gave me
Yeah.
just a little bit more versatility and able to move the bait sideways a little bit.
Yeah.
Appreciate that,
Cool.
Darian.
Yep. That's your buddy right there, huh?
Yeah, the goat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was considered a national tournament, right? Yep, on
Yeah.
that trail. Yep, yep, national champion.
Hey, Chuck, I really don't know. Honestly, I don't. But I heard the lake was like 27 feet low or something like that from full pull. Now, I don't know
Wow.
what it had been. I just know it was 27 feet down at the time.
Man.
Yeah. Did this lake have a dam? Was it? Did it have a dam?
Absolutely did.
How deep was it around the dam? Did you make a trip down there or no?
I did. Yep. We fished down there, looked down there. Um, I want to say the deepest I personally saw was like 130 something feet.
Dang.
Man,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Lake Hamilton. It's pretty deep.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I can't remember. I had a picture on my phone at one time. I think I deleted it early one morning, and it was like 130 something feet deep that I was, because it was real foggy. One of the mornings that we were pre-fishing, we put it in at the dam, and you couldn't, I mean, there was no way I was about to run the lake because you couldn't see anything. And we just idled across there. And so, of course, I was just watching my side scan, but it was like at one time I know I was in 130 foot of water.
Man.
And I believe that there's even closer to 200 in that lake, especially when it's full pull.
Man.
But I don't remember seeing anything that deep.
You get over that deep of water, all you see is a water column on your side imaging,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
crazy.
amazing,
Like
man.
Hamilton, I went there from the dam. The water temperature would be like 78 degrees, and you go up the river all the way up, and the water temperature was like 40. Same lake. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And the water was clear. Same thing. You can see 20 foot down to the bottom, Lake Hamilton. You get in the
Huh.
river. I can't remember what it's called. Yep. And it's
Seemed
that
like it would
much
be
different.
colder down at the dam, though. It's deeper, right?
No, yeah, it's shallower up north. Yeah, and it's because it's hot springs.
Huh.
You have
Oh,
hot
okay,
springs in
okay.
that lake, so I
Yeah.
guess where the hot springs aren't, that's how cold the water is.
Murdoch say, you guess hit him on the head. Don't apply to that lake.
Yeah, that's pretty. So yeah, let's talk about the weigh-in. I know you got in the hot seat at like 10 people left or something, so you had a long time to watch people weighing in.
Yeah, and I had a good idea, and
Yeah.
I knew I had a feeling I was going to go up, but I didn't know everybody had not done as well on day 2 as they did on day 1.
Right.
I felt like I knew I was going to go up quite a bit, and
Yeah.
I felt like I'd jump at least 2 or 3 spots. But then you kind of get back and you start hearing people
Right.
talking, and you're like, really? I mean, I did that well today?
Yeah.
Like,
What was
heck,
you at end of day one? What place?
6th.
Okay, so you was sixth. Okay,
I was 6th.
and who
Yep.
was you worried about the most when you was in that hot seat? I know you could see people, and you're like, yeah, that guy I got to watch out for,
Well,
and you know what I mean?
Well, I think, obviously Hayden's just Hayden,
Right.
I mean, you'd never know. I mean,
Right.
and Hayden's been a phenomenal day 2 fisherman. Even though this
Right.
lake was completely out of his element, he has a lot of experience catching these type of fish.
Right.
I'd say most people probably don't know that, but he does.
Right.
And he had a very good pattern, but his fish were more affected by the cold front and the front that we had on day 2.
Right.
Way more affected. And the thing about this lake was, whereas if you go to fish Lake Fork, even if me and you are fishing the same area, Steve, we're in an area. We're not on a exact tree.
Right.
These fish were in a, if you weren't on a dock or something, these fish were on a laydown.
Right.
One single laydown.
Right.
You couldn't just go to Fork like you can Fork and say, I'm in the right area and put the trolling motor down and just burn water all day.
Yeah.
You know, you might put the trolling motor down on live scope or something on this lake, and you might go for 3 or 4 or 5 hours before you ever found some kind of structure.
Right.
Wow.
This, I know, we spent a lot of time side scanning. I know Hayden told me he spent 20 hours side scanning.
Yeah.
But I just found I did it as well, but I just kind of put a little more of my faith in docks.
Right.
And it seemed a little like I felt like they had a better pattern going into the tournament, but I was like, but if I can get the right fish to fire off,
right.
I do believe the right fish are on docks.
Right.
You might have to weed through 500 little ones to, I don't know, but I feel like they had a better pattern going into the tournament than I did. But their fish, I know even Chris and Terry Mann, they were fishing down towards the dam, and they ended up loading up on day 2 and coming back down the lake. And I was fishing 40 miles away from those guys. You don't actually realize how big that lake is, but I was fishing 40 miles away from them. And they loaded up and trailered back and came back because their fish they just lost their bite on day 2. And they came back down and made the most of what they could out of what they had left.
Wow.
Man.
Chuck, I honest to God, I have no idea what the ramp was called. It wasn't, it was a big ramp, or it was a public ramp. It wasn't a private deal. I'm looking on my map right now, but I don't know. Let's see here.
So Travis, when you just a quick question, when you did see a fish coming at your bait, did you raise away from it, or did you just continue to let it fall?
So I did a mixture. I did both, and I caught fish both ways. Sometimes I would just let it continue to fall, and then fish would just get after it and get after it and get after it and find one would eat it. And then sometimes if I would see one coming out of the back of a school, like a single fish, I would just start reeling it slow. And,
okay.
So I caught fish both ways. I think there were just different fish that wanted to present it at different. Some fish it triggered one way, some fish it triggered another way, because I think it was a 50-50 deal. So I can't tell you which one. I never put down like, hey, they only hit it reeling, or hey, they only hit it falling.
Right.
It was just a mixture.
Yeah. That's what's up. So did anybody go looking for? I know Hayden probably did that. Went looking for dirty water on that lake. Was there anybody that accomplished that?
As a matter of fact, I was the one that went looking for dirty water.
Okay.
And Hayden already knew it was going to be one on black crappie.
Oh, really?
And yeah, we literally sat in our cabin watching YouTube and watching channels of Lake Cumberland, and every single person that was catching big crappie was all blacks.
Yeah.
And so I ran up in, they call it Fishing Creek. I ran in the very back of Fishing Creek on day 1, and I fished about 4 mile stretch out of it. I probably caught 30 crappie. 25 of them were whites, and the biggest one was like a 0.97.
Oh man.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we learned, on that lake, like a 125 type whitefish was a big whitefish in that lake.
Right.
And I don't know if that was for that time of year or what, but just by far the blacks in that lake outgrow their whitefish, which for our lakes here is complete opposite.
Right.
Opposite. Yeah.
And I know we do have a special few lakes where we do grow some big blackfish, but for the most part in our lakes in Texas or in the South, if you're looking for tournament fish, you're looking for whitefish.
Right.
Yeah.
So after a complete day of looking for big whitefish that I was going to go do, I'd established that wasn't going to win the tournament.
Right.
Cool. Now I sort of do in the summertime down here. I sort of do the opposite. I want to target the
Yeah,
black crappie because
in the
they don't.
summertime,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yep.
Trying to look
And
and see
not a
what.
lot of people not a lot of people understand that, but those blacks sort of stay thick year round.
Mm-hmm. They do hold their weight better in the summertime.
Yes, sir. Uh-huh.
I'm actually looking.
So we got a question here? Were there any docks on any of the creeks, or were there even any creeks that connected to that lake?
Hang on, I was looking for that dock name that I put in
Oh,
at
okay.
is what I was looking for. Oh, here. I don't know if it gives the name.
Oh, Chuck says that that lake is a corps of engineers lake, and it doesn't have it's not allowed to have a dock that's permanent.
Gotcha. So that's why they're all floating,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess as well. So I don't know. The boat ramp I put in at was at the 761 road 761.
Hmm.
It dead ends into the lake.
Yeah.
Catch him running back to camp.
Yeah, he's been speckled trout fishing
Oh,
Oh,
over there in Florida. Did you get done? Did you get on any of those specks over there? I know you say you was gonna chase them in the what's the name of that river over there, Steve?
Okeechobee,
Okay.
Okeechobee,
I
Lake
thought he was going.
Okeechobee.
I thought he was
Yeah,
going to that famous river over there in
St.
Florida,
John.
St. John's. Yeah.
No, no, he was going to Okeechobee. He
Oh,
said,
was it? Okay.
yeah, there's some big crappie in there. Lake Okeechobee. That's a big bass, lake
Right.
in
Yep.
Florida.
Yep. Yep. Slap.
thank
He
you.
said that was a heck of a win.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
On the boat, you get it yet, or you decided what you're gonna do, or
Well, I don't know what the whole situation is.
yeah,
I know it's at a marina or a dealer in Kentucky.
yeah,
Last I heard, it was supposed to be ready last week. I've texted this week to find out what status is on it. Haven't heard anything.
yeah, yeah. Checks in
Kind
the
of been,
mail.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of been a
yeah,
frustrating ordeal,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah,
Oh, it's gonna come through.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I know that. It's
yeah,
just,
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Who's the owner of Ranger Boats? And I know the dad died. The son took over. Just call him.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Wood. What's
the
his
boat is at the dealer
something
though. That's all I know.
something Wood took
Yeah.
over for Ranger. Because I've been since I got mine, I've called them 100 times already for like info. And I could say Ranger, their parts info and stuff, they're top notch. They're pretty
Yeah,
cool.
Huh.
Yep. They'll even make like skin covers for boats that like in the 80s. It's pretty
Wow.
crazy. Yep.
Huh. So Timothy has a question here asking if nibbles are. Now, I'll say from what my experience, it's either you can use live and artificial. Uh, and yes, you can use nibbles and slab sauce or any type of scent. If it's artificial only, you can still use the nibbles and all of that.
Right. Live.
Do
No. No
do you
live
use
is as in
nibbles?
live.
Do you ever use any kind of scent, Travis?
I really don't. If I need some sin, I put on a minute.
Oh, really? That's it.
Yeah,
Natural. Call that all
I
natural.
think the National Crappie League is that artificial only, or it's both. I
I
think it's
really
both.
don't know. For
I
some
think
reason,
I
I
think
think they
it's
might have went to artificial only.
yeah. That's what somebody said, and I was like, I thought it was both. I don't. Maybe certain
No,
tournaments. I'm
no, I
thinking.
know for a fact it has been both in the two that I have fished.
Okay.
But I was thinking about maybe for 2024 they might have changed it.
Okay.
Something changed. I can't remember who. I mean, it might not have been them to
Right.
artificial only. I just can't remember.
Yeah, from what he was saying a while ago, most everybody was using minnows
Yeah.
in that super
So
clear water.
yeah, I think it just depends. You know, but I talked to guys there that couldn't get them to bite a minnow,
Right.
and
Oh,
I couldn't get
really?
them to bite a jig.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Different areas. It's like
yep,
this guy is using this color, but on the other end of the lake, this color works. It's just you're fishing for crappie.
Yeah.
yep.
Slabby said that their deepest water on some of their clear water lakes is 178 feet deep.
Oh man.
I get over the 40 feet of water sometimes down here, and
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that's
What
deep.
makes a lake clear like that? Just the minerals, or
Yeah, I think it's just
Z-
when you got all the rock and stuff like
yeah,
that, you don't have the sand, and it's
right,
you don't have the
sandy.
mud
Yep,
like we
yep.
do here.
More
Yeah,
rivers, I think, and creeks.
Hmm.
I think muddy it up more.
yeah.
But it was
And I've
crazy. I
heard that
mean,
from what I've heard too is zebra mussels
Hmm.
has a effect on the water clarity
Hmm.
also.
yeah, I know me and Hayden, we cleaned
250 feet. Woo.
we cleaned I don't know, 80 or 90 crappie. We cleaned after the tournament on day 2. Some of the prettiest crappie. I mean, in that lake. I know they're not
Yeah,
Florida black top, but they were just
right.
beautiful fish. And I felt like the meat in those fish was just some of the purest crappie meat I'd ever seen. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
just from the clarity of that water and just so clean. I don't know.
right.
But um, we went and we threw our fish in the lake, and we filled up some 5-gallon buckets with waters because we didn't have a water hose where we were staying. So we had to fill up some. We filled up some. That way, we just already had some buckets full of water,
Right.
and they were in a white 5-gallon bucket. And I mean, you literally, it was like you didn't even have anything in there.
Man.
I mean, it was just the
Wow.
clearest water I'd ever
Yeah.
seen.
I
You put
seen a
water in your live
guy,
well, it
he put
was
his
just
hand in
you
the
couldn't tell.
water and it was like clear. Some guy did on Facebook. I saw it. I was
Yeah,
like, man.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
Frank posted a picture
Yeah.
and he was up there,
Yeah.
and I mean, it literally looks like tap water.
Jeez.
that's crazy.
But an absolute
Crazy.
beautiful lake. I mean, and,
Yeah.
So,
and
ha- have you ate any of the fish from up there yet?
I
Did
have.
they have a did it have a cleaner taste or?
I really didn't notice that because yeah, I did. I wanted to keep some of those fish from up there, and I can't say I honestly did not notice a difference in the taste.
Right.
Oh, really?
I did not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got a really clear lake here. Actually, two of them, and to me, the fish out of the muddier water tastes better.
Yeah,
Just to me,
Mhm.
one of the lakes that the crappie sort of got a it's off taste,
it's probably
but
all
it's the
the
water.
for me, it's all the seasoning. It's covered up the taste of it anyways.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Speaking of that, what kind of season do you just do? A basic seasoning, or you?
So, man, so I do, but I have found a couple of ways that I personally like to cook fish. I'm not a bland kind of guy.
Right.
I like, I want my fish and things. I want them to have some spice to it. I want them to
Right.
have some like flavor. And one of the things I did for years was, well, mustard as a binder
Hmm.
or Frank's Red Hot Sauce.
Hmm.
And I loved those. I preferred the Frank's Red Hot Sauce. And I used just the red box of Louisiana Cajun
Okay.
on that. And when you marinate it in Frank's, for 15, 20, 30 minutes before you do that, it's going to give your fish a little darker
Hmm.
Hmm.
complexion. But now a good friend of mine turned me on here a few months ago to the like the turkey injectable Creole butter.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot
And
what
I
they
like to
call it.
soak my fish now in that
From
Creole butter.
Academy sells it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Academy, Berkshire's. I mean,
Yeah.
here,
It's all the same brand. What's it
yeah,
called?
Tony Satchery's.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And
Oh,
I like the Creole butter. And
Oh
now
wow.
soak your fish in that Creole butter and then use the Louisiana seasoning. And
Uh-huh.
I mean, to me, it has one of the best flavors of
Oh
a fried
wow.
fish that I've had.
Yeah. You like
wow. So
spicy
do
or
you
no?
No, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it gives it a little spice, but
Yeah.
it's not like hot by no
Oh
means.
wow. Okay. I'm gonna have to try
do
that.
you usually always fry, or have you ever tried blacking?
No, matter of fact, me and my wife had blackened. We caught crappie on Sunday. I cleaned them, bagged everything up, and I left us out about 12 or 15 fillets. And I blackened them in the skillet with just I don't know, it was a Brookshire's, just blackening seasoning.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
And I sauteed up some onions and bell peppers and um, celery,
Uh huh.
and we had crappie tacos.
Oh cool. I
Good
just had
stuff.
So,
crappie
Huh?
tacos last
and that,
night.
but blackened, I
Yep.
love blackened crappie.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Some good stuff.
I bought
Hmm.
some pico and then I bought some crema, the Mexican sour cream. Oh man,
Yeah,
that's some
Yeah.
good stuff right there.
yep.
Yeah.
So Dollar Bill asked a question of when do you think the crappie will be moving to the back of the creeks? From my experience right now, I'll tell you this that I've been catching fish in the river and creek all year long.
Yeah, I
Not
mean,
necessarily shallow, but
Yeah.
and I think it also depends on the lake.
oh, without a
Um,
doubt, yeah.
there to me, there's just certain lakes that they just don't move back into creeks like in the
Right.
Hmm.
fall. And there's lakes like Lake Tawakoni. I'll just use an example. I mean, I can remember going to Lake Tawakoni in December and January, super cold, sitting on the side of a creek at midnight, wearing out crappie.
Yep. Hickory
And Lake
Creek in Louisville, same thing.
Tawakoni is one
Wintertime,
of them
it's
creek.
good.
Tawakoni is one of them lakes that those fish move into the creeks in the wintertime.
Yeah. Lake Louisville too. Hickory Creek. In the winter, there'll be ice. You have to break the ice getting in the creek with your boat, and it's stacked with crappie in there.
Yep.
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Me and Darian went one time. He's on here. One spot, double limit. We didn't even move. Yeah.
Wow.
Huh.
Yeah. Hickory Creek on a bend. I think that bend had something to do with it. We called it crappie party or crappie something. Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Slap B said that the clear lake that he's fished it for 25 years, has never caught a white crappie out of it.
Oh wow.
Wow. And I don't, I really don't know the meaning behind it, but I know um they just don't thrive in clear water.
Right.
They don't. Yep. You're right.
I don't know if Chuck is asking me Jamestown. We stayed in Jamestown.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I'm
that's
not sure what
probably.
the
I'm moving really slow, so the
Yeah, I
comments
I'm
are
think
not sure what the
probably from.
question was, but
yeah.
we
I
that's where
think
we
he's
stayed.
from that area. I think he's from that area. I think he's the one that
Yeah,
said.
yeah. Chuck
Yeah.
Adams says he's 15 minutes from the lake. I think he said a while
Okay.
ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
stayed in
Yeah.
Jamestown,
from Cumberland.
pretty much on the lake on the way to the dam
Right.
boat ramp.
Is it near
Um,
the Tennessee border? Oh
no.
no. Oh, that's Hickory, I think. Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
no. Yeah, we
Yeah.
were we
Oh,
were on up
Hickory.
into Kentucky a little
Okay.
ways and we stayed on the north side of the lake.
Mhm.
Yep, I agree with you, Murdoch.
Hmm.
Chuck says Johnny Morris owns Ranger.
Okay, Johnny Morris. Okay. I know the dad passed a year or two ago, I think. Yeah.
Slappy said, yeah,
The
because there's
last.
80 boats.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, but them Rangers, man, they some solid boats, man.
Yeah, I
I
never
see
really
some
paid
that are
attention on before, but yeah, I see
yeah,
now a lot of old '80s. I
exactly.
started out with a Ranger in '80s. It was a nice
Yeah.
boat. It was narrow, and it had like a bent seat on the side, like the old, But it's pretty solid.
Yes, sir.
Old carburetor engine.
Yeah.
You had to tilt it the right way to start it, otherwise it wouldn't start.
Yes, sir.
You had to go back there and pump the bulb every time, and hey,
Oh,
Trevor,
he
you got
says
a duck
sometimes.
boat or no?
Do what?
You have a duck boat?
I used to, but not
Oh,
anymore.
okay. I thought you did.
Chuck says
I
sometimes.
Yeah, it's not
Go ahead.
something I tried, Chuck, and
Yeah.
it may have been a great effective method, and I might
Right.
have
Yeah.
caught triple the amount of fish I did, but
Right.
it was not something that I tried.
Right.
How much was the entry fee for that tournament?
I think it was 400.
Yeah.
It might have been 450. I might have been 500, but I
Yeah.
think 400 seems to sound
Yeah.
right.
And it's
Yeah.
an invite only. You have to qualify for it. It
Yeah, I
wasn't. Yeah.
qualified through Lake
Yeah.
Fork last year.
Right. It wasn't a tournament that you could just show up. It was.
No.
Yep. You have to qualify for it.
Yeah.
So basically, it was the top guys that fished for that year. They would get invites.
Huh. That's what's up, Slab B.
Oh,
Mhm.
mountains. That's
Says
pretty
only 8
cool.
miles long.
Oh, wow.
That really clear lake he's talking about.
Hmm. There's a clear lace toward Austin. Who's the guy that comes on the live sometimes? He bought a new boat.
Yep. he been on a trip with me too.
Yeah, it's real clear down there.
Yeah, yeah. He says it's deep too.
Yeah.
Chuck say the dam at Wolf Creek is over a mile long.
Yeah. Wolf Creek. Oh, he's talking about down there, I guess.
Uh-huh. You're right about that, DB. Dollar Bill say that
Yep.
those crappie are so unjudgmental, they will switch up on you real quick,
Oh yeah.
without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Keeps you on your toes.
Oh, Jeff say he lives there, lives close to Cumberland too.
Oh, okay.
So he's 45 minutes away.
I wonder, Illinois, is it mostly black crappie up there then, I guess?
I'd say it's probably got to be.
Yeah. What about
But
like
I mean,
Kansas?
the lake that was an absolutely gorgeous lake. The only thing I hated about the lake, they needed like trolleys or something to take you from the ramp up to your truck.
Oh,
I mean, some of these boat ramps are like over 100 yards long.
Oh man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the water fluctuating that much.
Yeah, it was
yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
That's the longest boat ramps I ever seen in my life. By
Dang.
the time you got, hey, I'm not kidding you. I thought Hayden's dad was. I laughed because I thought he was being sarcastic, but he wasn't. By the time I pulled my truck out of the water and got to the top of the ramp, I was in third gear.
Man.
Wow.
Dang. Sardis was real long.
Yeah, I've never been on a boat ramp that you could hit third gear and still be on the ramp.
Dang.
That's crazy, man. So where did you beat your, how could you beat your boat? Or did you have to have somebody to launch it? Did it have the floating docks there also? Or
It had floating dock. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
But most of the time I just pulled up to the ramp and put my power poles down.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And just, just because I have the keel guard on and everything, just pull up to the ramp, put my poles down.
Yeah.
And then a couple of the guys I met, great guys there. Ended up meeting them the night before the tournament started, and boom, the next morning I met him at the ramp. He actually launched my boat for me, pulled my own truck up there.
Cool.
And then when they came in that afternoon, he got his, and then he pulled all the way up and jumped in my truck. I just left the keys in it.
Oh,
and he backed my truck all the way up. But, so tournament wise, I actually had it easy, but pre-fishing was when I had to do all my walking.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's what's nice.
I'm telling you right now, you will be out of breath walking up those boat ramps.
That's crazy, man. That is crazy. Dollar Bill says, "Congrats on your win."
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Cool, you might have to donate your Ranger boat. One of y'all, Miss Bertha, try to put it in a giveaway.
I'll give it away for about 40 grand.
There you go. Really? You're not serious, are you?
Oh, SK getting a Ranger.
Gonna be close to that.
Hey, we may have to talk.
I'm gonna start it at about 45. Is where I'm gonna start it.
You know what color and stuff, or not yet?
I was told it's silver with black. It's Silver Ranger with black. The Ranger stuff is black.
Oh, cool.
Man, that's gonna go like that. That's gonna go like a hat.
We'll see. Yeah, but
I
I
know
will say, like the guys that won the tournament up there a couple years ago, he's fishing out of his boat. It's the same boat I won, and man, it's a decent boat.
Yeah.
It's a decent boat. It's got.
I mean, it's a dual.
I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea.
I think now that it's a removable anyway. I believe it is.
Yeah, I think so too. All the ones that'll dual, you get the option.
I truly, only thing I know is it's a 518 with a 150, and it's silver and black.
Yeah.
Slabby say, "I'm with you too, man. I still pump that ball too."
Yeah.
I might not have to after I talk to Travis for a little longer.
Yep.
That's not bad. Hey, that boat's gonna fly, dude. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I know the guys that, like I said, that fished that won it there in 18. Barry, I believe, is Barry and Ben, I believe, and he loved his boat.
Yeah,
he loved fishing out of it. He had double chair seat up on the front of it, everything.
Yeah,
I mean, he loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Forestwood, that's his name. Yep. Yeah.
That's what's up.
I don't know who's the biggest boat manufacturer out there. Is it Ranger? You think, or
Tell you what, you see skeeters everywhere.
yeah, Skeeter's
I
big.
mean, I don't know.
Hey,
I see
Travis, you
some
ever sat
sell.
in the Icon yet?
I haven't.
Oh, okay. I was just
Probably
curious.
don't need to.
I heard they're like 120. I don't know. That's what I
Yeah,
hear.
it just I think it just depends on what you
Right.
what all obviously the sky's the limit
Options.
on
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
options on everything.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So how's fork fishing?
Forks fishing phenomenal right now.
Yeah.
I know Jerry went out and caught his 54 hours today. Kel was just under 4 hours.
Yeah.
I ran a guy trip Saturday, 4 hours,
Yeah.
with
Great.
a father, son,
50 fish.
9-year-old.
Yeah.
And right now the fish are they're actually congregated, but when I say you can catch fish right now from one end of the lake to the other.
Right.
They haven't
Wow.
really got on that deep water pattern yet.
Right.
There is some fish out deep, but you don't have to go
Uh,
deep to catch them
Right.
yet. I'm still
what's y'all's
catching
water temp up there?
63 on Sunday,
Yeah.
and I don't see it
Has
being
it?
any really much cooler than that because it hasn't been that cold this week.
Right.
Yeah. How fast does it take to say, for instance, for your lake to fluctuate 10 degrees? How
Uh,
fast have you seen it fluctuate 10 degrees?
I mean, it's going to take several days to fluctuate 10
Yeah.
degrees. Several days. I mean, we're going to have a big cool snap for it to
Right.
fluctuate 10 degrees.
Like a whole week of cold or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
That's not that. I see our lake change at least up to 5 and 6 degrees from morning to evening. Five
Yeah.
to 6 degrees.
Yeah.
And
It,
one
it,
week it was 58. The next week it was 72. This week is back down to 63.
Wow.
yeah. But I haven't fished since Sunday. Just work's been busy, and
Yeah.
I gotta. That's what pays majority of the bills
Yeah.
around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at Jeff. Jeff talking
Then
about
Lake Fork, what is it? When you have to keep every fish coming up, right?
Starts December 1st.
Yeah, you have to keep every
oh
fish. You
really?
can't throw
And
nothing
right
back.
now, and I couldn't disagree with that more. Yes, if you do catch them deep, but right now I'm still catching fish in 20 foot of water.
Right.
There ain't
Yeah.
no reason I need to have to keep those fish.
Right. Right.
Right. Right.
But I
That's
mean,
the
I
rule. Yep.
guess it
Yeah.
Live Scope has showed it probably aside from Live Scope prior to Live Scope, people were already probably down at the Lake Fork Dam right now
Right.
fishing deep.
Yeah.
That's where they thought that's where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's where they're at. And now Live Scope has shown a lot of people that, and even last winter, yeah, you could catch fish deep. And I'm 100% advocate and thinking you need to keep those fish, but I also caught fish, in 20, 25 feet of water throughout the winter.
Right.
That there's like technically by law you have to keep them, but
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with
Right.
turning that
Release
fish back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that be say like the Sea Arc boats got air ride seats.
Oh yeah. The Icons have them too. They got
Oh
heated
really?
seats. I heard.
I
I heard
think
they got
so
heated
does
seats.
the new Ranger, the Ranger 520R does.
The
520,
heated.
521R has air ride seats as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. What? How you like that new trolling motor?
So I love it.
Yeah.
Yep. So I ended up from Texas Trolling Motor here on Lake Fork. They had me the new Quest ordered,
Oh, cool.
the Ultrex Quest. And
Yeah.
matter of fact, I sold my old Ultrex last Saturday,
Oh, cool.
and it's definitely a lot quieter trolling motor, quite a bit more battery efficient.
Yeah.
I haven't run them dead yet in a tournament.
Right.
Obviously the Ultrex, I'd run my batteries dead and I'd be on my 36-volt backup battery.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely quieter. I had to make a few little adjustments on it just to get it feeling right for me.
Right.
And after that, I love it.
Yeah.
Definitely
any-
money well spent.
Yeah. Is there any adjustments you can make on the pedal? Or it's all this way or that way? Because someone was saying this, you can do some adjustment stuff with it.
All I did is adjust the set screw on like the tension.
Tension.
on
Okay,
the,
yeah, tension. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
that's what I had
yeah,
problems with at
yeah.
first. It was a little loose for me at first.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I mean, and actually I put it on there with 1 day to pre-fish before a tournament. Kind of freaked out when I started putting it on there because thinking I made a big mistake.
Right, right.
Then I figured out you could tighten that up, and
Yeah.
as soon as I tightened it up and gave
Yeah.
it a couple of rounds, it made all the difference.
Right. Yeah, that's not one of the reasons I changed, because my Ultrex was making a lot of head noise, back and
Yep.
forth, and
Yep.
I wasn't happy. But I don't know if it was just that model, that one, or because I've been in a boat and some of the Ultrexes aren't that loud, and some of them
No.
are. Yeah, it's weird.
Yep. But Darren, to answer your question, obviously, I mean, I'd say a lot of our lakes, especially here, they consist around creek channels and flats. A lot. And these fish use these creek channels to run. They use the flats to set.
Yep.
And right now, I know these fish are really keen around creek channels right now at Lake Fork.
Right.
And I do believe that's because they are going to transition some, and they know it, and they're getting geared up for it, and they're sitting close to creek channels. But depending on the time of year, but like especially when these fish go shallow, I mean, Darren, something to look for is if you're fishing in 4 or 5 foot of water or 6 foot of water, and you see that 8-foot ditch, that 2 foot of drop off, those fish are most likely going to set in that ditch before they run. They set out on that flat. They like that, just that little bit of edge of drop off for some reason. So ditches are something that I feel like are really crucial to your success, especially in shallow water.
Right.
Yep.
Any kind of little depth change, like a little bowl, something, those fish just seem to gravitate toward it, and they'll just lay in it.
Right. How's the fish on? Are they pretty active on Fork?
Absolutely. You don't need minutes to catch fish.
Right, right. They're pretty active. And,
I like I said, I used a 1/4 ounce jig on Sunday.
Yeah.
Smoked them.
Yeah.
Haven't used a 1/4 ounce jig all year.
Right.
I just grabbed one, said I'm going to put a 1/4 ounce on today because I've kind of become a small jig kind of guy.
Right.
And put 1/4 ounce on, never look back.
A weight above it or just quarter?
I still ran a half above it.
Okay.
I don't like. I tried to actually attempt to run just a 1/4 ounce jig, and it was just too slow for me. I just couldn't do it. I know most people probably think I'm crazy for that, but
you're just used to it.
SK, I'm using most of the time when I'm tournament fishing, I'm running a 3/4 ounce tungsten above my jig head.
Man.
I'm talking for white crappie and long polling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I want to get that jig on them, and I want to get it on them quick. And if I'm chasing them, I'm not trying to have my jig under the boat. I want to be able to
right,
move.
Right,
yep.
Right.
Everything, time is of the essence in everything you do. Tournament fishing.
Yep.
So
totally agree.
Can I catch that fish with a 1/4 ounce head only? Yes. But if I have all that extra weight on there, it took you 30 seconds to get on that fish, but I got to him in 10 seconds.
Yep.
Right.
Well, I just saved 3 seconds.
And
add that up all day long. I've spent another 20 minutes looking for fish than you have.
Right.
Yeah.
And that fish might have spooked off if I didn't get it to him in 10 seconds. You know what I mean? Yeah.
There's a lot of fish that if you can't get a bait on them, that's the hardest thing sometimes about running a guide trip is your clients can't get that bait to them like you can.
Right.
And especially if those fish are spooky, I'm going to pitch at them. That fish comes in 20, 22 foot, and I know he's spooky. I may go ahead and pitch at him as I'm rolling up on him. So we're going to meet at about the same time.
Yeah.
With that guide trip, you can't get people to pitch a fish with only on a guide trip.
Right.
This ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you had some experience fishing, but I'm saying 9 out of 10 people you take out cannot pitch a fish.
Right.
And, I literally have to get them to put their bait in the water, and I push them to the fish.
Right.
Drive them to it. Yeah.
I drive it to them. So, and that takes time.
Yeah.
So even when I run a guide trip, I run a 1/2 ounce weight above their jig every single time, a 1/2 ounce weight. I'm trying to get them on that fish quick.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And they don't at least my clients, that you tell them, all right, drop right in front of the troll motor. It's 2 foot to the side. So now you got to wait on it to swing over.
Oh, yeah.
So
My biggest complaint probably fishing is, a lot of people, they've never used a 13-foot rod. I guide with a 13.
Right.
Oh, really?
And what I try to get people to do is pull the line with their left hand and set the bait out there 5 to 6, 7 feet already.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Almost every time they're just going to lift the pole up and they're literally going to set it. I'd say most of the time it's probably setting behind the trolling motor when they set it in the water.
Yeah.
So that bait has to swing.
Yeah.
Swing. Exactly.
Not only that 5, 6, 7 feet, and then I still got to push it to the fish.
Right.
And that's what I try to explain to people. Catching these fish, time is of the essence, because
exactly
there was, like, this weekend on my guide trip, I couldn't tell you how many fish that we didn't get on because they just spooked off.
Right.
We couldn't get on them fast enough.
Yeah.
And but it's just like that. I mean, when you're taking new people, and I'm understanding that they don't have thousands of hours behind it like I do.
Right. Yeah.
But I try to teach them. I feel like I try to teach, like, hey, I'm not going to hit you with everything and just overwhelm you and make it unenjoyable for you.
Right.
But I want you to understand the things I'm trying to tell you, so that maybe if you do go out with somebody else or you get live scope, you're understanding. Don't start your bait at the trolling motor. Go ahead and set it down out there 5 or 6, 7 feet.
Right.
It's better to be further than even that closer.
Correct.
Yep.
But most people cannot pitch. So, and then just trying to get them to lift the line up with their other hand and just set it down out there.
Right.
It's just not, I mean, if they don't have the experience, it's just not easy for them.
Right.
A lot of times when I have a client that do that without me having to tell them, because, if you got your especially if you have to re-drop on a fish, there ain't no sense in reeling it up and then trying to stretch, put your line back out. So sometimes I have a client that'll grab that line and pull it up and then set it out there. I said, dude, I know you're a fisherman.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
And that's what I try to tell my people when I'm guiding. I'm like, I use a 13-foot rod.
Grab some water.
I don't like them to reel the line up less than the length of the rod.
Exactly.
So a lot of times when they do that, they'll go to set it out there, but the line's still coming back at them. It's like, if you'll just take a pull like this, just pull and then set it down, you can reach out there.
Yep.
6, 7 feet past the trolling motor, and you're already that much farther.
Right.
And then, and then if it's like, hey, listen, if the fish is less than 13 feet deep, you ain't got to hit the button. You ain't got to reel. At that point, you're just cane pulling.
Swinging them in. Yep.
That's it. And, but then some people will finally get it, but you can't overload everybody with information right off the bat. Cause then it's like they're not getting any of it. So you got to throw that tidbit in every now and then. It's like, okay, hey, you're doing this well. Let me show you how to do it a little better.
Yeah.
Let me add something to it.
Have you ever had a client tell you, hey, I've been fishing for crappie for years. Let me catch my own crappie. You ever had a client? You never had a client tell you that?
I really haven't. Nope.
I've had 2 so far.
Yeah.
I'll say, okay, hey, it's your trip. It's your trip. Have fun. However you want to do it.
I try not to overwhelm them, because
Without
I know,
doubt.
like, especially people looking at live scope for the first time.
Yeah.
And I did. I ran a father-son trip this weekend. The dad was a good fisherman. The kid, he was 9. The kid had fished. He ran a bait caster with me.
Man. Yeah.
I mean, the kid had fished, but I'm just saying, but the dad understood what was going on with live scope more than the kid.
Right.
And so there's always just times where, and we caught our 50, we caught them in 4 hours.
Yeah.
But there is just times where, but if I was just fishing with the dad, we probably would have caught him in 2.5.
Right.
Okay.
But I mean, it was a 4-hour trip. We caught him in 4 hours.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is that he just understood the live scope better and understood what was going on.
Right.
And there's some people that you feel like they listen to you a lot at first, and then as the day goes on, they don't listen to you as much, or they think they know a little bit more than they did.
They do their own style or whatever.
Exactly. Then they start to kind of do their own thing. They start to see that bait over here and the fish to the right, and the next thing you know, they're like, no, hold on. Sometimes the worst ones that think they know a little bit about live scope they're the worst ones to actually have in the boat.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep. Because there's so many times I'll get that, and I drive the jig to the fish a lot
Yep.
when I got clients. So I
Yep.
get that, and they don't move it to the right while you're 4 feet away. They'll
Oh
wait till
no.
you get right there, about a foot away, and then they move the
You've
rod
been
to the
in
right.
line.
What are you
You've
doing?
been in line for 15 feet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to explain. And then finally, for most people, it'll finally kind of click. And they're like, oh, so there's no left to right on the screen. I'm like, no,
Exactly.
there's
Yeah.
not.
Forward
And
and
then,
back.
but then the next question is, well, how do you know that I'm left? And I'm like, well, that's because let me show you. And then
Yeah.
I explained to them that if you see my trolling motor, it's constantly.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
always moving, always. And I'm like, when I go over here and I see your bait, and then I pan back to the right and I see the fish, I know you need to go right.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
and most of the time I can just look at their rod and the string and see which way it's going. I can tell them which way they need
Exactly.
to
Yep.
go.
Right.
But I'm like, that's how I know, is because I am turning the head of the trolling motor at little subtle movements. And I know if you need to go left or right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize they always look at their bait on live scope. You can see the line too.
Yes.
I look at
Yep.
the line just the same way.
But see, so my deal is though now, Steve, I don't run any braid.
Right.
So, but I run braid on my guide trips.
Oh, okay. Just to see that
So,
line.
and I'm an advocate. I don't have anything against braid. I did feel like at a tournament on Pines last year when me and Michael were fishing, he was catching more fish on fluoro than I was on braid.
Right.
And ever since that day, like we talked about earlier, you're fishing for one fish.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think going out to Fork, there's been a many tournaments won on nothing but braid.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I'm maybe fishing for just that one extra bite,
Right.
it's not going to hurt me to have on fluoro.
Yeah.
And I was running a fluoro leader.
Right.
Used to. And then I kind of realized it was like, well, why am I running a fluoro leader? Why am I having to tie all that? Why not just run fluoro?
Right.
And if I break off, all I got to do is retie.
Yep.
So that's what I started doing.
And keep it the same. You're used to it.
Correct. But I do not like running straight fluoro on guide trips.
Right.
And that is
because braid or you do the leader on guide trips.
I use a leader.
Okay.
That's what my question was going to be.
Yep. And the only reason I run braid on guide trips is because I like being able to see their line.
Yeah.
And you don't have to. A lot of times you get your jig back too, or your hook back if they get snagged in a tree.
And I'm running a leader, but it's still 15 pound.
Yeah.
But yeah, I 100% like being able to see that line.
Yep. Exactly.
Versus just looking for the bait and a weight.
I'm the same way. When someone's fishing with me, I'm like, go to the left a little bit. How do you can see the line on live scope?
Yes. But with that fluoro, you can't.
Yep.
So
from the surface so much down, usually if they're off. And then you'll see it longer when they're in the cone.
Yep. But that fluoro, when I'm running a guide trip, you're just looking for the bait and the weight, and I don't like it as much.
Yeah.
It makes it harder on me. And like I said, I'm 100%. I think for probably 99% of fishing circumstances, I don't think the braid matters.
Right.
I think the braid is stronger. You're gonna lose less things. I don't think it matters on the bite at all.
Right.
So as far as for a guide trip on Fork, my rods are gonna have braid on them.
Right.
Cool. What's your
PB
on Fork?
No.
286.
On
286.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Never caught a 3-pounder on Fork.
Wow.
I noticed last year there wasn't a lot of 3-pounders caught. Not like normal.
Nope.
Yeah.
So
I figured that record would have been beat by now, but it hasn't.
Yeah.
Chuck, what is the record?
355, I think.
Carpenter has it.
White?
White. Grounds. He was in the boat with Carpenter. I think that's Jerry's cousin, right? What's his name? The guy that built his building.
Yeah. He's building it right now.
Yeah, what's his name? Carpenter's his last name.
I went blank on it.
He wears the Carpenter pants all the time. Man, what's the first name? Shoot. Craig Carpenter.
Yeah.
Craig
Carpenter.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was in
355.
Brown. Yep. They caught I know exactly where they caught it too. I was on the lake the same day.
What's the record
Black
black for fork?
392.
Yeah,
Woohoo,
that's the
man!
Which is
guy from Tawakoni that caught that one.
George
Yep,
Ward,
yep. He has it at his house. That
Wow,
fish.
which is a giant
Yeah,
black. And the
that
thing
is
about
a
it
big
is,
fish.
that was
you
pre
really
live
don't even
scope.
catch hardly any 2-pound blacks in
Yeah,
Fort. You
yeah,
know, I mean, a 2-pound is
That's
a giant.
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
remember a couple years ago, Cameron caught a 3 pounder. He snagged it in the eye.
Wow.
What's the you talking about a fish of a lifetime and you snag it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He gonna be mad at you, Steve. He
Why?
gonna be mad at you.
He
Putting
So,
him on
told everyone.
blast.
No, he
Oh,
told
he
everyone he
did?
did it. Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
hey Chuck. So for me, I'm probably 75 to 80% hand ties, and minus using a minute. If I'm just fishing artificial only, I use more hand ties than I do soft plastics. That is a personal preference. I have fished a couple of lakes that I felt like the bite is better on soft plastics than it is on hand ties. But if I can catch them on a hand tie, I'm going to use a hand tie.
Yep. Less maintenance.
Yeah.
You think
Yep.
about it.
Yep.
It's more fishing. That's the
So Murdoch,
goal. Fish more.
Murdoch say he's gonna be getting with you on that boat too.
It'll be
Oh,
He
here.
cool.
says truck. That'll
I'm
match his
hoping it'll be
truck.
here in a couple of weeks.
We'll do an auction on here.
So yeah,
Murdoch says he's fished out of a.
it's 18-foot boat, but it's 1810, so it's almost 19 foot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, everyone, go to the bank, get pre-approved.
that's right. That's right.
I take cash or cashier's check.
Super Dave is the man. You know, Super
Yep,
Dave is with us every single live.
yep,
I think he's all the years we've been doing this live. He's only missed like one or two shows.
right.
One,
Yep,
I think, and that was because he
yep,
was really sick.
yeah,
And this dude, man, I got to give him shout outs every time I can.
yep,
He's always posting links. I got his other one up here, right here. So if any of you guys in DFW
yep,
or anywhere that Travis, he's knocking 50 fish
yep.
out. We don't have that type of lake down here, so don't nobody look at me want to know why I can't put 50 fish in the boat in 4 hours. It ain't gonna happen. But any of you guys want to make that drive to Lake Fork?
Yeah,
Travis is a great guy.
yep,
I've known him for a few years now, and he's
yep,
down to earth, willing to, as you can see,
yep,
willing to share his knowledge. That's his number. If you want
yep.
to hit him up and get up there and get on the boat with me, he
Yeah,
got
he
a
even
brand
has a
new.
place to stay. Talk about Travis.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you can do a
So
package deal.
I do. Yeah, I have
Yep,
we have a shop house here that we rent out as well. It's on my property.
yep,
I'm 10 minutes from the lake. It's a fully furnished shop house. It's got a queen bed in it. The couch folds out to another queen bed with a topper on it and a twin bed.
yep,
Microwave, stove, refrigerator, full bathroom, washer dryer in there.
yep,
Big back porch to kind of sits out. I've got
yep,
a. If you do bring your boat, I have a 50-foot shop that it's connected to as well that I allow people to park their boat in, kind of keep it overnight. It's on 63 acres. We don't
yep,
have to worry about anything. But I mean, if it's raining or bad weather, your boat's covered.
yep, yep.
Cool.
Can't beat it.
So it's a
Book a
super
place to
nice shop house.
stay and fish. Yep, package deal.
That's sweet.
Yep,
Yep.
I can do that. And in the springtime, I'm going to run some hog hunts
Oh,
as
cool.
well.
Oh
Yep.
really?
I'm gonna do some crappie catching and hog hunting.
Oh, sweet. You get both in the package.
Do I know?
You can fish and hog hunt and
Yep.
stay
I'm
there.
gonna do
Hey, you
I'm
can't
gonna do
beat
some
that.
little cast and blast, stay in the shop type deals.
Oh, cool. That's
Because
cool.
I have a lot of property around me to hunt. It's not just here on my house. I have
Right.
several thousand acres to hunt.
Yeah. That's cool.
Nice.
So I'm gonna do some thermal hog hunting.
Oh,
Oh,
sweet.
cool.
That's cool.
I need to get
What's going to be the
into
prices?
thermal.
You know yet or not yet?
Price point?
Yeah.
I really don't know just
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to get
Cool.
into thermal because my hogs have went total. I mean, I can show you 50 pictures a night from all at
Yeah.
night,
Yeah.
Yep.
and and
Yeah.
rarely do I see one during the daytime now.
It is the only way to go.
Yeah.
For us here, it's hit and miss. I had hogs at feeders today in the daylight, a couple of feeders, but they've mostly been pretty nocturnal. Here's a couple pictures just from today.
Oh wow. Yeah.
You can see get it on there.
Yeah.
What
Oh
cameras you
man,
running?
there's a bunch of them.
That's a Tacticam.
Oh man.
Tacticam. Okay.
Yep. And then but I've got there's only a couple of specific feeders right now. They're hitting in the daylight. Other than that, it's mostly at dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got a couple of pretty good hogs on camera the last couple of weeks. This is I don't know how good you're gonna be able to see this hog.
Oh man.
Oh, we can see it. That's a
Yeah.
monster.
Let me look at it again.
Yep,
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah. Man.
That's pretty good hog.
Yeah.
He's there checking out one of them girls.
Yep, that's exactly what he's doing. So I'd say that hog's probably 240, 250.
Damn.
Yeah.
I got another good one last night or night before. Pretty good hog on camera. But we have a ton of hogs
with
here.
good tusk.
I'm gonna say that one right there's got some pretty good cutters on him.
Yeah.
And let's see. But we have a lot of hogs.
They don't grow big tusk on the properties I've been hunting.
Yeah, this one just kind of I got him the other night. He's kind of just a good thick hog.
Oh man, that joker's wow.
Yeah.
Chunky dude right there.
Yep. And then we got the hogs here. As a matter of fact, I mowed some pasture today. One of my neighbors, I was helping him bush hog some pastures this afternoon, and they had just flat tore his pasture up.
Man.
Wow.
And matter of fact, I seen a spot on me just today that they hit me last night on they only did about a 20 by 20 area. Matter of fact, as soon as we get off of here, I'm about to go put my thermal scope. Well, I got a thermal scope sitting right here.
Wow.
I'm fixing to go look. They better not be out there. It's gonna be a bad time for one of them.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So
that's awesome, man.
But yeah, we
awesome.
We do used to do a lot of hog hunting, and we kept them in check kind of around here in this area, and we kind of really laid off of them here in the last couple of years, year and a half or so, and so they've really just, it
don't take them long. Bounce back.
Yeah.
That's right.
Matter of fact, I got a picture. I think it was just yesterday of like you can see this one. So there, that next thing you know, they show up to the feeder, and let's see, that's what they got.
Oh man.
Yep. Exactly. Them little
Yep. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah.
And it don't take long for them little ones to turn into big ones.
Nope.
How long does it take to grow like full?
Murdoch. Yeah, I don't mess with anything that's like, I'd say over 150 for me.
Yeah, right. I'm saying. Yep.
I'm between if I'm going to get one processed, it's usually between 125 to 150. If I just want one like for the smoker, I like 60 pounder, maybe 30, 40 pounder.
Yeah.
Yep.
You do a whole smoking on a hog?
Absolutely.
I never done that before. That's pretty cool though.
Yeah, I've only 30, 40 pounder. It's some good stuff.
Oh yeah, I've never done it before. You split it and lay it flat, or
no? I've not done it that way. I just smoke, and it'll end up being like pulled pork.
Okay, yeah.
Right. They're made as stringy. It's like brisket.
Right.
Yep.
Man. Yeah.
There's a good question. But I've been deer hunting. You have.
I've been deer hunting. Here pretty hard behind the house.
Right.
And
have you shot yet or taken anything yet?
So, man, unfortunately, I probably haven't missed a deer in 20 years, and I missed one Sunday morning.
Oh man!
And it's I guess it's a long story, but I had the deer at 100 yards before I decided I was going to shoot him, and it was a mature buck, and he ended up getting out to about 320 on me, which I didn't quite realize he was that far. And I usually it was 100% clean miss. I'm used to sighting my guns in. I shoot my guns 3.5 inches high at 100 yards because I hunt up in northern Missouri. Well, this year I didn't go rifle hunting in northern Missouri, so I backed my rifle down to dead zero at 100. And the deer was 320 yards, and I didn't know it. and I shot smooth under him.
Man.
And I seen he
That's
was on
the
a little.
best miss to have, though.
There was a little knoll that he was right like on, and I saw when the bullet hit it. I saw the bullet hit right under his, not like at his feet, but under his belly. He's still in my scope, and I'm shooting suppressed, and I didn't hear the thump or nothing. And I'm like,
Right.
I smooth missed him. And make a long story short, as soon as I shot, he was right behind a tree line. I actually called my wife because I was sitting in the back of my property and I'm shooting at a deer that was 60 yards from my house.
Wow.
And I called my wife and I was like, hey, run out to the back porch and see if you see that deer. And she's like, oh, yeah, he's standing right out here. And make a long story short, I haven't seen him since. And I don't have that deer on camera. Didn't know him, never seen him. I've seen 3 or 4 bucks I didn't have on camera. Didn't know they're really starting to move here. I saw a really mature, good 8-pointer this morning come in chasing a doe.
Oh, wow.
But it wasn't something I wanted to shoot.
Yeah.
So
Dave asked, have you won
sorry.
any other tournaments? I know you have. And
So yeah, I've won a few of the Crappie Anglers of Texas tournaments. So as far as wins, I've come really close. On a national trail, I lost one tournament by .01.
Yeah,
that hurts.
Yeah.
That was the water that the other guy had in his bag.
Man, I'm telling you,
yeah.
I think they took a little longer to get my sack on the scale.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
It is.
But yeah, I mean, we've had some, second place finishes as well, just some narrow finishes, but I've won. I think we won at least 2 cat tournaments this year. And obviously I won the Cumberland deal.
Then you got the newcomers, crappie anglers. No,
we did. We won the Crappie Masters Rookie Angler of the Year.
Yep. That's a points thing.
Yep. So we did win that.
Being consistent. Yep.
So Chuck, I did not fish the Del Hollow deal. I might be wrong, but I think
that's a clear lake too.
I think that was in Tennessee. I thought.
Yeah, that's Tennessee. Yep.
Yep, you're right, Slab B. Talking about them pigs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll guarantee you right now there's some out there.
And around the aerobic septic sprinklers, them hogs will go in there and dig around,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They'll trash the sprinkler heads and a group of them will come through.
Yeah, it's...
So
Travis, about your
what's
equipment on his boat. Let's about your setup. A lot of guys like to know what kind of setup you're running.
So I run
units and all that.
I run a Garmin 8416. I got from Steve. He's my Garmin dealer I use. And I'm running a 34. The LVS 34.
What do you think? 32, 34. You just prefer the 30 because a lot of guys are using 32s.
I don't know. Just for me, I have the 32 on my trolling motor as well, but I went to the 34.
Yeah.
For me, it just has a. Oh, sorry. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
So for me,
I feel it too.
Yeah. For me, the 34, I just like, especially fishing timber, I just like that target separation.
Right.
I feel like I see fish better with the 34.
Right.
Not everybody feels that way. It's just personal preference.
Right.
I've got it on a beat down outdoors ultimate mount that I raise and like to get it up where I can see it.
Yeah. Did they hook you up with remember the angle we were talking about?
Yes, they are. We are working on some stuff right now.
Okay, cool.
Yep, and they're actually making me a longer extension.
Right,
that
we talked about that.
Stuff. Yeah. I mean, if you guys ever need anything beat down outdoors, they can do anything you want. It might take them a little time, but they can get you need something custom made, they can get it.
Yeah, I was the first one to get where you're beat down the shaft bolts to the mount, whatever. They offset it for me because my graph and my trolling motor, and now they actually sell it off the shelf now. They're like, man, it's a good idea, and now everyone's buying it because they wanted it more to the right. But beat down will do if you have something, they'll do it custom for you. You just have to ask.
Will.
Yep, they have their own machine shop in house, so It might take
What
a little time, but they'll
what
do it.
what pole did you say you had your transducer mounted on?
No, it's on the trolling motor.
That was a joke.
Uh,
No, we
yeah,
always talk about pole or
Yeah,
we always talk about that on this show, and
yeah.
I
Pole
just
versus
always
trolling motor. Yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
and like you said a while
yeah,
ago with it's personal preference. It's
yeah.
just personal preference, but
It is, and you know, and hey, I think honestly, I think even when we all started with the pole.
I had one. Yeah, for a little while.
I did.
Yeah,
Everybody I
yeah,
pretty much know had started off
I,
with the pole,
yeah.
I
and
That's
me
what
started off
included.
mine's
people.
on a
Yep.
troll motor.
Yeah, that's
I
what.
didn't,
Yep.
you know, and I didn't know anybody though when I got into this. I didn't really know
Yeah,
anybody that did what we're doing.
yeah,
So all I knew is like, how you going to use that with the trolling motor? I got a pole, and I felt like I got pretty proficient at it on a pole.
uh huh.
But once I
When
really
you
learned, got it off of that, and then you got more in the tournament aspect of fishing, and you just learned how
hmm
to operate that trolling motor. When I first put it on the trolling motor, I was lost. Um, and then once I learned how to do that, then it started clicking for me. It's like, oh yeah, this is the only way to go.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
So,
yeah.
and I'm not speaking for everybody because there is a lot of scenarios that the pole works great for people, and I could see for a lot of guides it being the pole being better than the trolling motor depending on how they fish. But you know, I mean, if I was a huge brush pile fisherman myself and I sat on camped on top of a brush pile, I'd have a pole on my boat. But that's just me. Um, you know, but I'm not. I don't fish hardly any brush piles ever, and we're picking single fish off a tree.
down here, most of the two lakes that we have, that's really even if you fish a brush pile, it's not 100 fish down there like
Right.
some
Yeah,
lakes. You may see 10, you may see five.
yeah,
Sometimes it's just that one fish,
yep.
and it's sort of like the timber hunting up there.
Hmm. But for me, yeah, it's troll motor all the way now. I could never go back.
Yeah,
Actually, I went out with a guy the other day, a friend of mine, got a new setup, got him a little pole, got it on there. I literally ran it for about 5 minutes. Like, man, you mind if I put this on the trolling motor? And he had everything in the boat to move it. I moved it to the trolling motor, and he ain't took it off since.
Oh
yeah.
man,
So,
that's cool.
yep,
Yeah,
I couldn't even run it no more. With the
yeah,
and I used to think I was pretty good at it.
yeah.
Yeah, I always have clients that want me to go out on their boat and
Hmm.
dial their units in and then fish on their boat, and they got a pole, and I'm like, that just don't work for me.
Man,
We
it's
we can
difficult.
I can dial your unit in, but I can't guarantee you we gonna catch no fish with it on that pole.
Yeah,
Ooh, that is a fact.
yeah.
Yeah.
I literally took that transducer off that pole and I put it on his trolling motor.
Yeah.
What's your favorite time of year to fish?
Mine's definitely going to be springtime.
Yeah.
Really?
Big fish.
Definitely, I love
Big
springtime.
fish. Big fish.
Big
That's
fish. I
why.
want to catch big fish. I
Yeah.
want to catch. I want to catch them at the biggest point they can be.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When do you
So you
think that time's going to start? You think around after Christmas or for big fish hunting?
Man, I think, and I'm just if I'm going to base it on fork, I mean January, late January can be good. I think one of my favorite times to fish though that I found on fork is like late February
Right. Right.
when those fish start to move,
Right.
and especially when you get like a February and a good warm day.
Yeah.
Those fish are going to move in a good sunshiny day, and those fish are going to move out of some of that deeper water, or you're going to get them on some of them transition spots,
Right.
and they're going to be setting up high.
Yeah.
And them
Yeah.
fish may be 3 or 4 feet below the surface, and you're
Yeah.
sticking 2.5 pound
Yeah.
fish.
Yeah.
You
wow.
know, and I love that. They're getting up sunning, trying to get warm.
Yeah.
And I feel like some of my best days have been late February.
Right.
Yeah. See that's another advantage of being able to fish fork. You don't have the wake boats to deal with, and the jet skis and the
Right.
Nope.
skiers, and
Yeah.
I mean
You
my
don't have
my
any.
favorite time is the winter time
Yeah.
because all of those people are gone.
I think
Yeah.
I've seen two people pull in a skier on fork every time I've been out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just not something.
And I
you
was
see.
like, what do they do in the boat lane? They were pulling a skier, and I'm like,
Wow.
yeah, it was crazy.
Miss Bertha, our lake is at full pool, actually a little above today.
That's one of the lakes I want to go to, Poverty Point. Yeah, that's one
Well,
of my.
I'm hoping I get to fish it because National Crappie League, their national championship is
Oh,
there
that's right. I just
in
heard them
Louisiana.
saying
And
about yesterday.
if you make it to day 3, I believe from what I remember, day
Yep.
3 is on Poverty Point,
Yep.
and
Yep.
they're not allowing any pre-fishing or
Yep.
anything.
Exactly. Jeremy came on yesterday or a couple days ago talking about. I was like, that's pretty cool. The lake they pick, you can't pre-fish that lake. You just show up that day and fish it.
Yep.
Which that's pretty cool. Something new.
Honestly, I like it.
Yeah. Yep.
And Murdoch, here's my deal. If you ever learned on the trolling motor, there's no reason for you to change.
Yeah, there's no reason.
You wouldn't be doing yourself any favors by going to a pole. That's just
right.
my opinion.
Yeah,
I agree. I totally agree. All right, Slap B man, we appreciate you hanging with us.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yep. Yep. And then you still using that transducer mount, that one company made. You was talking about it last show.
No.
You remember the one I was talking about?
Yes. I'm trying to think of it.
Yeah, because we talked about that last show. You using the stock one now, or?
Yep.
Okay.
And the reason is I broke it.
And then it was hard getting parts, I think.
No, it wasn't. They actually shipped me the parts I needed.
Okay.
Like no charge, no nothing.
Right.
Completely awesome, great customer service.
That's what makes a great company.
Fishing Specialties.
Yep. Okay. Yep. They make a lot of
heard of them.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that's what it was. Whoa. Is that it? I was just looking here. I think that might have been what it was, but they made some phenomenal mounts, and they actually sent me everything I broke and some extra stuff, but it ended up just being something that I didn't see that beneficial to me. I'm actually looking for it right now.
I don't think it was Fishing Specialty. I think it was a different company.
Nah, that doesn't sound right offhand.
Yeah, I can't
but
remember.
I honestly, it was cool because they had some cool mounts.
Right.
I have nothing bad to say about them. I just didn't see. I just went back with the standard transducer.
Yeah, and didn't notice a difference a lot.
I just didn't. That's what I went with. And
you're using a 0 or 8 degree, the regular one?
I'm using the 8 degree.
Yeah, okay, the regular one. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a bunch of people question me about the benefit of the 0, and I was like,
on the trolling motor, yeah, I don't know for a fact, but I don't see it gonna.
Yeah.
And then on a pole they say you have to have a 0. I don't even know if that's true.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
They're just saying it just, in my opinion, it just keeps everything a little more square.
Right.
But here's my deal. You just get used to using it.
Right. Exactly.
I always tell people on my guide trips, depending on the depth of water we're in, and I know, I'm like, it's straight out, but stay about a foot to the right of my trolling motor. You don't have to be right in front of it. I need you a foot to the right.
Exactly.
Yep. But straight parallel with it.
Yep.
With it, yeah.
Yep. And the deeper you go in the water, of course,
the farther to the right you got to be.
Yep.
But I think those are just things that you just learn, and it just comes with experience.
Yep.
Fishing Obsessed.
Okay, that's what it was.
That's what it was. Fishing Obsessed. They make some great mounts for live scope.
And I think they got one that you can flip it and goes perspective on the same.
Yeah, a lot of their mounts. Yeah, you can flip them. You can do all kinds of stuff with them.
Yeah.
It just wasn't something I saw beneficial to me, and that I needed extra on there.
Right. Do you have like spare mounts you take on tournaments? And
absolutely, I have spare everything.
Yeah. Right.
The only thing I don't have is a spare trolling motor or motor or boat.
Because you did the lower unit, I think, went out on one tournament one time, or
it did. I have a spare lower unit.
A prop. I think a prop.
I have a spare prop.
Yep. And them
So
things ain't cheap either. Oh
I
man,
have a spare lower unit that's wrapped up in a blanket.
man. Oh, that Torque Master or whatever. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep, I remember that. Yep. And them things ain't cheap either. I think some of them are like $10,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah,
he's running a 300R, so that lower units.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, Murdoch. So yeah, that's what the 8 degree pretty much. If you're running on a trolling motor, you have to use the 8 degree.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to get those dead spots.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Travis, hey man, I know you've had a long day. I
Yeah.
appreciate you coming. Hey,
Yes,
anytime
sir.
you're ready,
Yeah.
you you,
Yeah. It's
you
good,
say the word
man.
because I'm
Yep.
gonna tell you now, I'm feeling it. I'm
Oh
feeling
yeah.
it big time. We're gonna I'll probably do a jig giveaway and we gonna I'm ready to shut it down unless y'all got more to talk about.
Well,
No.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm good,
It's up
man.
to
Yeah.
y'all.
It's
I
after
sure
two
do appreciate
hours.
you
Yeah.
guys inviting me
Yeah.
on.
No problem,
Oh yeah,
man.
hey,
Yeah.
anytime you want to come on this show,
Yep.
man,
Yep.
it's a phone call away.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a phone call away. I'm
Yeah.
talking about
Appreciate
if
it.
you want to come on for 10 or 15
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
What's your tournament schedule like in the next couple months?
There's a couple going. Their NCL's kicking off this weekend for 2024 on Richland Chambers.
Yeah, I
Um,
seen that. You gonna fish
and
it?
I really wanted to.
Yeah.
I just don't know that my schedule is going to allow me to.
That's this weekend, right?
Yeah, I could fish it Saturday, but I'm just
Yeah.
super busy at work, and
Right.
I'm not familiar with the lake at all. I've never even
Right.
been to the lake, and I don't want to show up. I mean, there's some great people fishing it, and I don't
Right.
want to. I'm not going to just show up and pretty much do my day of
Yeah.
pre-fishing
You
during the
wanna
tournament.
put your work in. Yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah.
and I know the Lone Star Crappie Trail is kicking off.
Yeah, I
Chris
seen that.
Thompson and
Yep.
them, they're
Yep.
putting on a trail, in DFW.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
and it's on Lake
Grapevine.
Grapevine.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yep.
Huh.
Yep. I never been there.
I actually looked at it on a map today. It
Yeah.
doesn't Grapevine, I don't believe, is that big of a lake.
Right. I just heard a lot of brush piles. That's what I've always heard.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
and I don't know
Yeah.
the first thing about it.
Right.
So
Right.
it just might not be. And we're actually building. Me and my uncle are building a 30 by 60 barn right now,
Oh, cool.
or 3-sided equipment storage shed. I'm calling it a
Uh-huh.
barn.
Right.
And we're probably going to work on that on Saturday. It's just
Yeah.
kind of bad timing right now for
Right.
a
Right.
tournament.
Yep.
But
Yep.
the next tournament I know I'm fishing is the NCL Open Division on Lake Darbone, 9th and 10th. I think it's December 9th and 10th.
Okay. Is that for the championship or no?
No, that's
Okay.
just an open,
Okay.
just a regular season scheduled
Yeah.
event.
You been to Darbone
Championship.
before?
Never.
Yeah. Me and SK went there. What, last year or year before?
Yeah, year before.
Yeah. Yeah. We went there. We would stay there 2-3 days, just
Yeah.
checking it out. It was pretty cool. They got a
Yep.
creek channel that goes through the whole lake, and that's what
Yep.
mostly everyone fishes.
Yep.
Yep.
But it's I know the fish are spooky.
Yeah. Yep.
They say, and but yeah, we are scheduled. I mean, we have
Yeah.
a house and everything for that event, so
Yeah.
for sure I am fishing that next.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm kind of concentrating on my deer hunting right now,
Right.
and we're building this barn and at work. I'm just kind of
Right.
you just can't do it all at the moment,
Yep. Yep.
And that's why I didn't, I usually go up to northern Missouri every year deer hunting, several
Right.
trips, and I haven't been once this year because
Oh
I
man.
just can't be going
Right.
every single
And you
other.
have
I
a
mean, I
job,
just
you
can't.
know.
So,
Yeah.
but anyways, well, I'll let you guys go and
All right.
appreciate
Yeah.
you for
Hey,
Cool.
having me on.
Appreciate it.
good
Yeah.
luck.
Take care,
Good luck
man.
in the deer stand and
Yeah.
also your upcoming tournaments, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, SK.
Yep.
All
All
right,
right. Take
buddy.
care, man.
Later.
All right.
Later. That dude right there, man.
Oh
He's
yeah.
he's
Good
he's
stuff,
got it going
man.
on.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Shares information.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Down to
Yep.
earth. That's
Yep.
that's that's super
Yeah.
cool. Man, he got that. He gonna be doing those night trips for those hogs. Man, I think I'm gonna start off with just a red light at a couple of my feeders. Those thermal scopes, they're really expensive.
Yeah. He buys them from one company, all of his
Oh,
scopes,
really?
because it said for parts, he always has to deal with one person.
Right, right.
Yeah. And they're out of Texas somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
We should
okay.
ask them. Yeah.
Yeah,
I asked him one time.
yeah,
I've never done it, but yeah, I was asking him, and a guy at work wanted it, and he goes through it one company.
yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't posted my report from today, you guys. I had a one person guide trip today. I'm gonna tell you something. Lake Houston showed out today. It was one of the toughest days I've had on that lake. And I know I've said that a few times here lately, but today was one of those special days that if you didn't put that jig up under a stump, up under some big old brush pile, and take a risk of getting everything hung and snagged up, you wouldn't getting bit.
Man.
I like to show my clients the fish. I like to show them to see their jig going down to. I like them to see the reaction. Most of the time today, that just didn't happen. It's hopefully tomorrow will be a better day. Hopefully the day after that'll be a better day. But today was just one of those days. I hadn't been on the lake in a few days, and I'm thinking it's mad at me because I was on Conroe the
Uh,
weekend. We did have a crappie tournament over there
oh,
on
that's right.
Conroe.
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
yep. This past Sunday. I'm just glad that the weather was nasty enough not to have a million boats on the lake like usual. Uh, I posted the results on Facebook, although I know a lot of you guys are not on Facebook, but there were 12 boats in there. Uh, Good camaraderie at the weigh in. That lake was fishing really really tough this weekend. Uh, but I did a full report and put it on Facebook of what most of the guys used. I did come in second, not first, but I did come in second. Won a little bit of my money back,
Yep. LBG came in
and
third. Yep.
LBG came in third.
Yep.
Yep, yep. Then a local guy, a guide on that lake, he came in first. Had a right at a pound lead over me, not a
Yeah.
full pound, but pretty close.
Yeah.
And it it took me, I was listening to Travis a while ago saying that he just don't give up, and just pounding, he made
Right.
that long run back to fish 30 minutes on that dock again that he
Yep.
knew the fish on. That's the drive you got to have to be a good tournament fisherman. And I upgraded. It was only a 5 fish tournament. I upgraded every last one of my fish in the last hour of
Man.
lines in the water.
Yep. Don't give up.
And if any of you guys want to participate on this tournament, as of right now, is only on Lake Conroe, and the next tournament is going to be December 10th. And if you need more information, you can hit me up. If you're not on Facebook, hit me up, and I'll share that information with you. Squiddo's supposed to be coming to the next one. I went to the marina this evening and didn't get a bite. Yeah, today was just a throw it off bite on Lake Houston. The water is up another 6 inches or so from that rain. The temps are back down low 60s. I don't know what else. I mean, it's just that lake. It's a training lake, and a lot of guys don't understand when I say that, because to be consistently on crappie out there, you're gonna be consistently making some changes. And I appreciate everybody that was here. Steve, you
Yep.
want to do a giveaway, or we want to just
Yeah.
double it up
Yeah.
next week? Or
It
you
don't
want to do it
matter.
just yeah, let's
Yeah.
just
Let's.
double it up, man.
Yeah.
We're right at
Yeah.
two. We're
Okay.
over 2 hours
That doesn't
already.
matter to me either way.
Yeah, yeah. Y'all come
Yeah.
back next week. We'll double up the give. I mean, we're over the time
Yeah.
limit already. Appreciate everybody that's
Yep.
been in. Vito, brother, I appreciate you showing up. You say hello, crappie addicts. That's just what we are.
Yep.
Super Dave, I appreciate you hanging with us,
Yep.
brother. I know you got to get to bed. Got that early
Oh
start.
yeah. Yep.
Thanks for dropping the links and keeping the chat clean. All of you guys, hopefully you picked up on some tips today that will help you catch more and bigger
Yep.
crappie. And
Yeah. If
as
you're
we
on Lake
say,
Fork, hit up Travis, get a trip.
yep,
Then, like
yep,
he said, he's gonna do hog hunt. You go do some hog hunting. Next day, you go do some fishing. You got a place to stay. You can't beat that.
that's right,
And
that's
with
right.
some thermal stuff, that's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yep,
Real
yep.
cool.
Travis would seem. I had never hung out with him, but he
Yeah.
definitely
Oh
seemed like
yeah,
a
good
great
guy.
guy to
Yep.
hang out with.
Yep. Yep.
But
Yeah, we went to Grenada year before last. Oh no, it was last year. Oh man, we hung out for 5 days. Me and
yeah,
my son, and then Travis and one of his buddies. Yeah, we had cooking. He brought deer sausage, summer
yeah,
sauce. Oh man, we cooked every morning.
yeah,
Oh yeah, it was good.
yeah, yeah. Vito's a big hunter, and he
Yep.
heard us talk about hog hunting.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks, Miss No Salt BP. Any of you guys
Yeah.
that are into making your life a lot better. She hadn't posted a new video, recipes lately, but I'm
Mm,
pushing her. But I know she's been tied up. She's been doing a lot of hard work. She is
right.
a she works in the medical field, and she's been really tied up since COVID. But she makes some awesome recipes. Y'all be sure to check her out over there. And it goes without saying, no salt BP. That's what
Yeah.
you'll the recipe she'll be sharing.
Yeah.
Super Dave, appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
Be
Right
safe.
on
Wear those
PFDs. Yeah.
PFDs, and
Yeah.
also see you guys next week. Same
Yeah.
time, same flavor.
Take care.
Peace.